أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to my fellow colleagues, those in the RMC as well as those at the kuliah. Alhamdulillah, I am very honored and I'm very happy to be with you today. All right. I think this is something that we have, my team and I, we have planned quite for a while. Okay, we were just waiting for the right time because after your appointments, we were kind of tight with certain reports that we have to submit to funders. So after we have done all that, so Alhamdulillah, now we can focus on grooming, okay, on sharing. It's more of a sharing session, sharing session of what grant management is all about. But before I go into sharing my slides and all that, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate all the HORs, those who are new, okay, and those who have been renewed the appointments. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much for your willingness to carry out the amanah, because I have to admit that it's not easy, okay? It's not easy. The amanah is very huge, all right? And, you know, at the end of the day, we will be questioned on this particular amanah, all right? So congratulations, and I do really pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that all the HORs and RMC can work together hand in hand. Okay, I think that is very important. I cannot express to you how grateful I am and how I appreciate, okay, our HORs, okay, because all of you are, to me, all of you are like our how shall I say, our assistants at the kuliah, okay. You help, you are the nearest people to the researchers, okay. So that is why we feel that it's very important to have this kind of session where we brief all of you on what grant management is all about, so that at the end of the day you can also assist your researchers. Okay, all right. But of course, having said that, we are not saying that, okay, after this briefing, RMC has done our part, you know, we don't need to communicate anymore. I think it doesn't work that way, all right? Of course, there will be challenges that you will face, certain things you are very uncertain, you know, you can always know that there are people who will, inshallah, assist you and help you. So it's like, you know, working together. I look at it more of that, yeah? So thank you very much for making the time to join us, to join all of us this morning, all right? What I am going to share with you is actually, how shall I put it? Okay, let me just briefly tell you a bit about my involvement in RMC. Before I joined RMC, I was with Center for Postgraduate Studies for 3 years. And then after that, Alhamdulillah, I'm here at RMC in 2018. I first joined in 2018. I think the one thing about me is that wherever I go, the first thing that I will do is I will learn the policies and the guidelines and the regulations, okay? So I make sure that I understand those things, okay? Because it is only by understanding these things that we shall be able to give good advice. I look at it as that we're giving good advice. We need to give good advice to our fellow colleagues, okay? So what I have done is that, and what my team and I, what we have done is that we have put all these guidelines, okay? They are not exhaustive. Let me tell you that they're not exhaustive. I do not think I can share with all of you the you know, the humongous information that we have gathered, but I am sharing with you the critical ones that you should know, and that inshallah, hopefully you can share with your colleagues at the kuliah here. All right. I think how I'm going to do the session is I have about 55 slides, okay? sorry, my briefing is normally very long. But what you can do is you can put your questions in the chat box, okay? If let's say we are not able to deal with it today, all the questions, what I will do is, inshallah, during the second session, which is actually going through the RMSB2, because that one, I think it's not going to be that long. And I think that one is, that one, I think we can deal more with the questions and answer on your part. And besides, you have like, 1 day of National Day to think of other questions that you want to ask during our second session on the 1st of September, yeah? Okay, so now I'm going to share with you what I have prepared for you, yeah? I do really hope, Alhamdulillah. Okay. So my tagline, working with researchers is together we achieve more. I think that is, to me, that is very crucial. Together we achieve more. If we are alone, if we do things alone, we can't go far. We cannot, it's very limited in terms of the things that we can achieve. But if we are together, inshallah, yeah, we can do a lot more for the university. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Okay. So what is the purpose, or what are the purposes of today's briefing? Number one, the main thing is actually we want to enlighten the HORs on the processes. Okay, you need to understand. Yeah? Unfortunately, you may find this like, oh God, what am I doing? Why am I here? What am I listening? But unfortunately, you have to understand this, because let me tell you this. Once you have understood all the things, the processes, the procedures, the policies, you will be able to not only assist your fellow researchers at the Kulias, but more importantly, it will assist you. Because I know that all of you, all right, all 18 of you, okay, I have the names all here. All 18 of you are also researchers yourselves. So that's why you are the HORs, okay? So hopefully when you understand all these things, it will also assist your research, okay, personal research, yeah, with your team, So inshallah, okay? And of course, to improve communication between HORs and RMC officers. I think that's very, very important, okay? This is very, very important. We need to have very strong, I would say, ukhuwah, okay? It's not about, I will always appreciate suggestions, okay? I'm not saying that whatever that RMC is doing is correct, is the best, sometimes, or most of the times, we need here the brain, okay, from our fellow colleagues, okay? Ideas, okay, right, to move on, to move forward, yeah? All right. So what are the things I will be covering with all of you today? The first one is we're going to look at the teams, okay? The teams, these GMU teams, okay? Who are we, all right? And also our responsibilities, okay? The job scope, okay? I will share with you the job scope of the heads of research. If you have not known, I'm not so sure whether when you were given the appointment letter, you were given the job scope, okay? So today I'm going to share with you the job scope. And maybe inshallah, I will also email you a copy of the job scope, okay? So that you are clear, because your job scope, it has actually been approved in the URC, yeah? University Research Committee meeting, yeah? Okay, and then we're going to have the guidelines and procedures in grant management. Okay. Okay, so the teams, who are we? All right, so this is in Gombak, yeah? Okay. So these four people here, okay, we are in charge of the grant and financial management, not only in terms of the grant management, but also financial management of the grants, okay? So, it's, I have to admit to you, it's not easy, okay? But inshallah, I have a very strong team. Alhamdulillah, I cannot be, I'm just so grateful to my team members, okay? So we have Nur Ain, Muhammad Zubir, I think all of you know her already, okay? And this is her contact number. We have Susanna, all right? And also Sister Siti Sarah Marzuki, okay? So these are my buddies, okay? My team at Gombak.
Dr. Dina, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Your slide is not moving. I think you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Allah, you should
Okay.
have told me earlier lah. Allahu Akbar. Okay.
Sorry.
Tak apa. Kejap. Sorry.
You might share your screen, Doctor.
Yeah. Allahu Akbar. I'm sorry, people. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, is it moving now?
Yes.
Thank you,
I'm
Doctor.
so sorry. La ilaha illallah. I've been babbling. Okay, never mind. Things happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the purposes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not fair. Sharing the faces of my team members, and yet, you're not able to see their pictures. Who they are. Okay. So these are the people. Okay. The strong people in my team, alhamdulillah. All right. And I believe all of you are also familiar with Najmi. He has left the university. All right. He has joined another organization. Okay. So this is the new team. Okay. I have a new team for at the same time as yours. Okay. You guys were appointed 1st of August. So 1st of August, I have a new team. Right. And then we also have another team in Kuantan. This is something that all of you must know, okay? That we also have teams in Kuantan. And the team is being led by Associate Professor Dr. Widya Lestari. I'm sorry, Dr. Widya, I couldn't get your picture. Okay.
It's okay.
I think all of you, I mean, of course, you can always search the website. Okay, Dr. Widya, and then we have Sister Mastura Abdul Wahab and Sister Suaidah Abu Mansur. Okay, so all these three are the important people in RMC Kuantan in terms of grant management. Okay, so they will be able to assist you. Okay, and they are actually processing the management of grants at Kuantan for our Kuantan researchers. Okay, so what are the roles and functions of GMU? Okay, in general, okay, these are like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these are the things that we normally do. We have to monitor research progress of grants from various funders, okay, which means international as well as local funders, okay, internal grants as well as external grants, okay, monitor utilization of grants, monitor and approve research activities. Okay, example, research extension, completion, appointment of GRAs, monitor and approve research achievement, for example, the publication, talent, IP, handle financial matters pertaining to claims, advancement, procurement, prepare reports to various funders, okay. And just to inform you guys, recently we had to share or attend a session with Mohe, okay, where we need to deliberate on the progress of FRGS 2016, 17, and 18 to Mohe, and of course, the assessors or the panel had quite a number of questions for us. Okay, all right. Organize workshops like this one here, all right, that we're having now, and also organize research clinics and personal sessions for research projects which face some difficulties. These are the things that we do it, when the needs arise. Okay, all right. So these are among the things. Okay, it's not exhaustive. It's not maybe not the whole thing, but the major things that we do. Okay. Okay. So now I go to the job scope of the heads of research. Okay, what are your responsibilities? Okay, inshallah, we'll share with you this document. Don't worry. Okay, I'm just going to focus on the important things. Okay, so the heads of research are appointed to focus on encouraging research culture within the university, create a framework for quality research, and nurture Kuliah's research excellence. Okay, so this is the reporting line. Okay, for heads of research. If you notice, okay, so I would say that you have one foot at the Kuliah, another foot at the RMC, I believe. Okay, luckily we have 2 feet. Okay, right. So this is the proposal, the new job description. Okay, the new job description for the heads of research. Okay, so these are the things that you have to do. Okay, I'm not going to go through all this. There are quite a lot, and you also have the KPIs. Okay. Monitoring of research progress, you do have that. Okay, 80%. You have to ensure. Okay, for example, like the recent or today is the last date for the second cycle of progress report for MOHE grants. Okay, so you need to ensure that about 80%, at least 80% of your researchers in the respective kuliahs submit their reports. Okay, and then research mentorship. Okay, and also percentage of active academic staff as principal investigators. Okay, so roughly about 90%. Okay, so these are the things that you have to know about your job scope. Yeah. Oops, 1 minute. Okay, next. Okay, so here we go. Guidelines and procedures in grant management. Okay, there are 4 components in my talk today. Okay, the first one is in terms of the management of research project. The second one is management of finance and procurement. Okay, the financial matters. Okay, and then monitoring of research project, and then roles, responsibility, integrity, and etiquette. Okay, these are the 4 things that I will be covering today, inshallah. Okay, so the first one, in terms of the management of research project. Okay. All right, so the first one is I'm going to touch on the types of grants that we have in the university. Okay. Okay, so in general, there are 4 types that we have. Okay, first is the grants offered by MOHE, all right, which all of us are very familiar with. We have FRGS, FRGS Racer, REX, TRGS, LRGS, and RGS. Yeah, okay. So we are very, these are common terms to us, inshallah. We also have MESTEC, okay, the e-science grants, the Technofund grants, okay, and they have come up with new grants nowadays, okay, which we have lost track, okay. There are just so many now, okay, especially like this year, okay. So we also have university, okay, university grants, and when I say university grants, meaning RMC grants like RICS, PRICS, and also kuliahs grants, okay. The kuliahs grants, there are a lot, okay. I believe last year there were many kuliahs which actually developed their own grants, okay, which actually is very, very good, okay. So a lot more, okay. I think the list, there are just a lot, okay. And we also have private, local, or international grants, okay. Okay, I want to mention a bit here about sponsored research and joint project research, okay. Because I've been getting quite a number of questions regarding sponsored research and joint project research, okay, or collaboration or clinical research. Okay, I just want to focus on sponsored and joint project, okay, because there's a clear line of difference between these 2 types of research, okay. So what is considered as sponsored, what is considered as joint project, okay. Now I give you, okay, sponsored project, okay. Sponsored project means that the funder is an outside funder, okay, an agency, okay. It could be a Malaysian agency, it could be, okay, example, I give you MCMC as an agency, or JAKIM as an agency, okay, any government agencies, okay, or even private companies, it doesn't matter, okay. So sponsored project is when the funder gave the researcher the money, but the money is not given to the researcher personally. Instead, it is actually being transferred into IIUM, which means that for sponsored research, the money is actually being parked at the RMC, Okay, so then when that happens, and sometimes they will have LOA or LOU, okay, for this kind of thing, then the money shall be, the monitoring in the utilization of the grant will be done by RMC. Okay, so money parked in RMC. And for that, it will be registered as sponsor research. Okay, there's another type which is called joint project research. Joint project research, JP. JP projects, okay? JP is when the money doesn't come into IIUM. Okay, the money doesn't come into IIUM. Rather, you are involved in the research, but you are not. But the money doesn't come. Okay, I give you one example. Okay, my own personal experience. Okay, a few years back. Okay, I was involved in this particular research. Okay, the PI of the research was UPM. Okay, so the money from the government, it was actually FRGS top down. So the money was actually parked at UPM, but I was appointed as a co-researcher. And because of that, when I registered with RMC, that particular research was registered as joint project because UPM does not allow the money to be, or rather MOHE doesn't allow the money to be moved to UIA. You cannot split the money, okay? So because of that, that research was registered as joint project. So the difference between sponsored and joint project is simple, whether the money comes in or not, okay? Comes into IIUM, okay? All right, so this one here, change of scope or objective, okay? Now, I have to make a caveat here that most of the guidelines that I'm sharing with you is actually...
Sorry, I have a quick question, if I may ask.
Doctor or Professor, could you please put it at the end? Let me just finish first, please.
Okay, sure,
okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, change of scope or objective. Okay, now I have to make a caveat here that what I'm sharing with you, majority of the guidelines are actually taken from MOHE guidelines. Okay, I think it's very important for all of you to know about MOHE guidelines because number one, they are more stringent. So it's very important for you to know what is the most stringent. Okay, and number two, because in terms of the quantity of our research, okay, majority are actually MOHE grants. Okay, so in order for you to be able to give good advice to your friends and colleagues at the Kuliah, I think it's very important for you to know the MOHE guidelines as well. Okay. So now, in terms of a change of scope or objective, okay, what it means here is that, let's say after, after the submission of the proposal and your proposal has been accepted with a reduction. Okay, normally change of scope or objective happens when there is a reduction in the budget. Okay, because MOHE will always slash our budget. Okay, you will never get what you wanted. Okay, so you will get a reduced budget. So with the reduced budget, you feel that, oh my God, I promised, a scope which is very wide, and now with this amount, this little amount, I don't think I'm able to achieve the objective, or maybe I have to scrape off objective 3, for example. So you can do that, okay? You can do that. You can submit an application to change the scope, all right, to MOHE, okay, in the first 6 months from the project start date. Okay, so 6 months, within the 6 months, you submit an application to change the scope. Okay, and the change of scope is only allowed once within the project duration. You cannot keep on changing the scope. All right, only once is given. Okay, which is in the first 6 months before, within the project start date. Okay, an application is made to RMC with justification and relevant supporting documents. Okay, and also a change of scope can also happen because the things that are happening around us. Okay, so many surprise. We're getting a lot of surprises nowadays. Okay, so the unexpected things, okay, may lead you to want to change the scope of your research. So the thing is, you can do it. but you are only allowed once. Okay, what about change of PI? Okay, this is something very important as well. We have been getting quite a number of requests for change of PIs, okay? Because, you know, researchers, some of our researchers, the contracts are not being renewed. You know, there are so many reasons, okay? And also, I'm sorry to say that, you know, due to this pandemic, I'm sad to, I mean, me and my team members, we are sad to notice that quite a number of our researchers have, you know, have left us. Okay, so I was, you know, the other day I was telling my teammates, you know, we have to, you know, we have to look through the records of these colleagues of ours who have left us, and we have to find whether they still have existing grants, and we need to contact the co-researchers and ask them whether they are willing to take over the grants. Okay, yeah. So that's the effect of the pandemic. Okay, sadly to say. Okay, sad thing for us. Okay, so so the condition for the change of PI is, okay, for PI is unable to perform his or her role for more than 3 months. Okay, for more than 3 months. Okay, let's say you are a PI of a particular grant, okay, and you have been, okay, for example, you are going for unpaid leave, or you're going for, retirement. Okay, this is common for all of us. For IUM, retirement, it could be in end of service or contract, or maybe secondment. We have researchers who have been seconded to other universities in Saudi and all that. Yeah, so you know, so basically the person is not able to do the job, to be the PI for more than 3 months. Then the person is required to get a new PI. And I would also like to highlight here this one, this part here. Okay, sabbatical leave. If you are going for sabbatical leave more than 6 months, less than 6 months, okay, you can still maintain as the PI. But if you are going for more than 6 months, maybe a year, you have to leave your PI-ship. Okay, you have to give that PI-ship to your co-researcher. Okay, and if, let's say, after you come back from your sabbatical and the grant is still on, okay, of course you can take back your PI-ship. Okay, due to sabbatical leave. Okay, but if you're going for sabbatical leave more than 6 months, you have to leave your PI-ship. So you need to suggest capable co-researcher to replace you. And if there's no capable co-researcher, a candidate from outside of the research group can be nominated. Okay, can be nominated. Completed application along with justification must be submitted at least 1 month before the change of PI for MOHE's consideration. Okay, but of course for us within UIA, if let's say it is internal grants, like our own RMC grants, okay, it's okay. I mean, we don't have this 1 month kind of thing. Okay, but the process is still the same. And of course, if let's say it is a funded, just now we talked about SP projects. Let's say it's funded by a different agency, so the co needs to contact the funder and get the approval from the funder to take over the PI-ship. Okay, because everything for SP projects, meaning funded by other agencies, we follow what the funder says. Even for example, like triple IT, okay, triple IT projects, for example, okay, that is considered an outside funder. Okay, so our decision will be based on triple IT. Whatever they say, we will follow. Okay, because it is their grant, it is their money. Okay, co-researcher. Okay, PI must ensure all co-researchers perform their roles and responsibilities as agreed. Okay, application and valid justification needs to be sent at least 1 month earlier before the addition of co-researcher for the consideration and approval of RMC or MOHE. Okay, 1 month earlier. Not like tomorrow you want to add the person and today you are informing us. Okay, please tell us earlier. Okay, and MOHE actually does not recommend additional or removal of co-researchers unless there is a necessity and valid justification. Okay, PI to send application for adding or removing co-researchers with justification and the roles of the new team members for additional matters. If approval is at RMC level, Mohe shall be informed of such changes during the monitoring session. Okay, so at our level, what normally happens is that what we normally get is that researchers will inform us via email, and then we will, and with the justifications and all that, and we will sift through, and sometimes my team and I will sit down, okay, discuss, okay, is this okay or not okay, whatever, and then we shall go back to the researcher and advise the person, okay, professor or doctor, you may make the submission or application to add the new co-researcher via the RMSB2. Okay, right. And of course, I'm putting this very important note here. Please refer to the respective guidelines of the different types of grants. Okay, what I'm telling you is just the general, and this is more of Mohe grants. Okay, but if let's say you are getting different types of grants, okay, international grants or whatever, okay, their guidelines would be different. Okay, their guidelines would be different. So still we need to, basically when we talk about grants, you need to go back to the guidelines of that particular grants, the do's and the don'ts, okay? Right. Now we move on to extension of research project. Okay, extension of research project. When can you request for an extension? Okay, it is applicable for, okay, let's say delay in completion of research milestones due to ethical approval, technical issues on research verification, procurement issues, error in data analysis, difficulties in getting the right sample, additional number of database or sample, and research is still ongoing. So these are the common reasons to request for an extension, okay? So for Mohe grants, okay, how many times? Once only. Okay, for Mohe, once only. But of course, what I am explaining to you here now is applicable in the old norm, not the new norm. Okay, new norm meaning now. Okay, in this new norm, this extension, the process is a bit different, okay? Because if you notice, for Mohe grants, starting from last year, okay, Mohe has already given us 3 months automatic extension plus 6 months automatic extension. So it's already 9 months, okay? So now if let's say you need another 6 months, then you need to appeal to Mohe. Okay, so that is the new norm. Okay, the current situation. Okay, the kind of current situation of extension that we're facing now. Okay, but before COVID, this was the practice. You are only given once only request for extension. Okay, and the duration is 3 to 6 months depending on the justification given. Okay, because one extension is only the maximum allowed is 6 months. Okay, one extension, 6 months. All right. Application and approval online via RMSB2 and funder system. So let's say you applied for an extension, let's say Mohe grant. So if you want to apply for extension, you apply via RMSB2, and then you also apply in my grant system when the system is open. Okay, this is one thing you have to understand. Remind me afterwards to mention a bit, oh no, later. On 1st of September, I will explain to you the differences between RMSB2 and my grant system. Okay, and then approval by RMC and funder. Application must be submitted at least 2 months before the end date of the research. Okay, 2 months before the end date. Okay, project duration. Okay, PI to ensure that the project is executed according to plan and achieve the targeted output as agreed in the proposal. Okay, now justifications that are not considered for extension. Okay, not considered. Okay, and these are my dear friends, my dear colleagues, the common the common reasons that we got from researchers. Okay, so please tell your colleagues at the kuliah, okay, this we do not entertain, okay, because for MOHE grants especially, and actually for even internal grants, we have already clearly stated, okay, things that are not allowed for extension. Okay, number one, attending conference. Okay, some researchers, let's say the end date of the grant is 31st of September. 31st of September. Majority of us, our grant will be for FRGS 2018, 31st of September. Let's say the conference is in October 2021. Okay, so they want to attend that conference. Okay, in October, and because of that, they're requesting for an extension. No, according to the Urus Takbir guidelines of MOHE, that's not allowed. Okay, that's number one. Number two, GRA payment. To finish off the payment for the GRA, that's not allowed as well. Okay, procurement of new asset. This happened. Okay, procurement of new asset near the end of project. Allahu Akbar. Please, later on I will show you another slide on procurement. Procurement cannot be made. When you want to buy an asset, you cannot buy at the end of the project. Why are you buying it at the end of the project? It should be, of course, at the beginning. You need the asset in order for you to run the research. Why are you buying it at the end? It doesn't make sense, you see. So that's why MOHE doesn't allow that. Okay, spending the remaining balance. Okay, yes, we've got this. I'm sometimes I find it funny. Some researchers, they will ask you like, doctor, I have another 10K in my FRGS. Okay, I want to spend off the money. I want to do this. And in order for me to do that, I want to extend. I said, cannot. You cannot do that, okay? Whatever the balance is, it will just leave it as it is, okay? Okay, this is something, when we talk about balance of research grants, let me just explain to all of you how, where does the money go? Because some of them, they are so worried, Allah, later on we have to give it back to MOHE. Tak nak, they don't want that, all right? Now, let me just tell you this, don't worry, okay? The money will not go back to MOHE, and neither will it come back, will it be absorbed by UIA? No. What happened is this. Let's say for FRGS 2017, okay? After the researchers have closed all the grants, the end date, so no more financial processes can be done. Okay, so let's say the balance for FRGS 2017 is 50,000. Okay, 50,000. FRGS 2017. 50,000. And then let's say for, okay, we are waiting for FRGS 2021, the verdict, right? Okay, we are waiting for the verdict, how many projects we got and all that. So what happened is, okay, let's say we managed to get quite a number of grants for 2021. So with a certain amount, they are giving us a certain amount, okay? So what they will do is they will see, okay, the balance that IUM have, the balance of MOHE's grant money, okay, in IUM. What is the balance? And they will just top up. Okay, if let's say FRGS 2021, they have to give us, let's say, I'm just giving you a number, okay? Let's say 100K, which is so little, but never mind. I'm just giving you a number. So let's say 100K. We managed to get 100K. So they will minus that. They will minus from the balance that we already have in IUM, okay, which is initially, 50K. So they will only transfer to us 50K to top up, okay? So the thing is, the system, that's how it works. We never have to return the money to MOHE. So far, they have never asked for that lah. Okay, so that's how it works. So don't worry about the money going back. Okay, and then applications needs to be acknowledged and supported by the program leader before it is sent to MOHE, depending on the type of grant. Okay, this one is justification for extension, of course. Okay, so I'm talking here. It says project leader, especially if for big grants like TRGS, LRGS, where you have different groups, okay? So if let's say you need an extension, the program leader needs to know about it, okay? Don't do it behind the program leader's back, okay? Because when you submit the extension request, we will still contact the program leader. Are you aware that your team member is asking for this, you know. So please discuss together. Now, I have made a note here. According to Urus Takbir 2020, an extension of 3 months is given for publication. Okay, what I'm trying to say here is that if let's say you need, let's say your grant ends on 31st of September, you feel that, oh dear, you know, you're still working on your publication and you need extra time, you need more time on your publication, you can request for a 3-month extension for publication. Because now for publication, the status must be published, not accepted. Okay, duration of extension, first extension 6 months, second extension 6 months, and this is the normal practice during the old norm. Okay, first month extension by RMC, the first extension by RMC, the second extension by MOHE. Okay, all right. Attending conferences overseas. Okay. Attending conferences overseas. Okay, number 1, only allowed for oral paper presentation. Poster presentation is not allowed. Okay, this is applicable to even now, online presentation. Okay, online presentation. Okay, poster presentation is not allowed. It's still oral, even though it's oral online. Now it's like that, no? Oral online paper presentation. Okay. We shall look at the qualification criteria because MOHE has come up with a very detailed criteria on the qualification of those who wish to present. Okay, we'll go through that in a while, and also the general terms to attend overseas conference. What kind of overseas conferences that you can attend? Okay, we will look at that in a while. For virtual presentation, researchers need to get validation from conference organizer and RMC. Okay, I think right now we have so many virtual conferences going on. Alhamdulillah. Okay, I've been getting a lot of applications, which is actually very, very good. However, one thing that I noticed, and I would like to highlight this to my fellow friends. When you please advise your fellow colleagues that when they want to use, for example, their FRGS money or TRGS or whatever, GS money, okay, or even their internal grants for that matter, okay, whatever grants that they want to use, okay, please make sure that when you want to use the grant money, any grant money for that matter, the papers that you are presenting, the topic must be related to the title of the grant. Because I noticed there have been a number of episodes where I noticed that, you know, sometimes researchers send about 4, 5 papers or 3 papers, okay? Out of the 3, only 1 is actually related to the title of the grant, to the scope of the grant. Okay, only 1. The rest, the other 2, they're not related at all. How do I know this? How do I know this? When I receive this kind of requests, attending conferences. Normally, if I see this kind of thing, I will return the application, and I will communicate with the researcher, and the researcher himself or herself admitted that the other 2 papers are not related. So please, okay, please advise your researchers. They cannot use the grant money for something that's not related to the research. Okay, why? Number 1 is wrong, because the grant money is only meant for articles or for matters related to the research only. Number 1. Number 2, I noticed that even for the other 2 papers, which were not actually the product of that particular grant, the researcher indicated in the acknowledgement of the article the grant code, which means that I know that what the researcher plans to do is that at the end of the day, declare that those articles as the output for publication, which is actually wrong. So two things wrong there. Number one, using the grant money. Number two, submitting as output for publication, which is wrong. So please, okay, please advise your researchers. This practice should be stopped. Okay, if you want to submit a paper where you don't have any grant for, it's either two ways. You can do it to attend the presentation. Number one, use your own money. Number two, request from the kuliah. I mean, if the kuliah still have money. All right, don't use the grant money. Grant money is only meant for the product of your research. Okay, now we look at the qualification criteria for attending overseas conference. Okay, I have to admit to you, brothers and sisters, but that previously in 2019, I believe, or was it 2018? There were no such qualification criteria. Suddenly, MOHE came up with this criteria. Okay, so once they have done that, of course, it is our duty to inform our fellow colleagues of what the criteria are all about. Okay. So qualification criteria of the PI, of the people attending the overseas conference. Okay, so the criteria, we look at the science and engineering. Okay, only PI and project members are allowed. Students are not allowed to attend overseas conferences. And then they also look at the track record of the PIs and the project members. Okay. For staff under 5 years of service, we need to ensure that the person has already published 2 articles in Scopus Index Journal, 2 chapters, or 2 chapters in research book, or 1 research book. Okay, under 5 years. More than 5 years, the person or the researcher, has already published 5 Scopus Index publication within the last 3 years, 5 chapters of research books, and 2 research books. Okay, this is the regulation by MOHE. So that's why I'm telling you it's very stringent. Okay, for social science, same thing applied. Students not allowed, only PI and project members. For staff under 5 years of service, 2 reference journal or 2 chapters in research books or 1 research book. For staff over 5 years of service, 5 index publication within the last 3 years, 5 chapters in research books or 2 research books. Okay, so please, all right, take note of this. All right. So my advice or our advice to our fellow researchers is that please constantly update your publication data on the MyGrant system. You need to do that. Okay, so that at least when MOHE knows that you have attended certain conferences, they can check your biodata on the MyGrant system. Okay, because I have to admit to you, MOHE, they do have penaziran. Penaziran meaning they will evaluate your submissions of your progress report. Okay, so they will check all that. Okay, so these are the general terms to attend overseas conferences. Okay, now conferences that are directly related to the research. Okay, please choose conferences that are directly related to your research. Allowed in year 2 or above of the project duration. Maybe some projects they have like 2 years or 3 years. Okay, so it should always be in the 2nd year or in the 3rd year. Okay, but not in the 1st year. Trip using the cheapest means. Only 1 trip is allowed within the project duration. Okay, maximum of 2 researchers from within the same project are allowed. Okay, but of course regarding the trip, it's not applicable now during pandemic. All these are before the pandemic. Okay, potential to build good networking, potential to be invited to publish books. Okay, attending an overseas conference organized by a local organizer is prohibited. Okay, what it means is this: let's say we have you have a local university, okay, which is actually they organize a conference abroad, okay, and where they joint venture, they did a joint venture with a local organization, okay, in that foreign country. Okay, that is not allowed by MOHE. Okay. Subject to overseas conference, which is approved in the project proposal by MOHE. Okay, some of you have already indicated the kind of conferences that you wish to attend, subject to sufficient amount in the grant, of course. All right. Okay, number 2, management of finance and procurement. Okay, I think this is another important part that you need to know. Okay, knowledge of financial guidelines. Okay, regarding claims, procurement, advancement. Okay, very important. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of the utilization of the grants, okay, researchers are required to spend the grant prudently and according to projected amount as approved in the proposal. This is very, very important, people. As approved in the proposal. Okay, so please, yeah, my advice to all my dear friends here, please advise your fellow researchers, fellow colleagues that when they want to buy something, when they want to, spend the money, please make sure that they refer to the budget that that has been approved by the funder. I'm not just talking about MOHE, okay? I'm talking about all other funders. Because when you submitted your proposal, surely you have already submitted the budget. And when you get the approval for the proposal, automatically, okay, they also give approval for the budget. So you have to make sure you use the money within the budget approved. Okay, don't go beyond, or else it will be burst. You will burst the budget. When that happens, Allahu Akbar. Okay, it's not going to be good. Okay, right. So, I'm sharing with you here the votes. Okay, for those of you who are new and you're not familiar with the votes, okay, when we talk about money for grants, okay, we cannot run away from the votes. Okay, you have to know which vote goes for which kind of expenses. That's very, very important. Okay, so number one in the list of the vote is vote 11,000. Vote 11,000 is for salary and wages for graduate research assistant. Please take note, yeah? The word I am using here is graduate research assistant. Okay? If I forget, please remind me afterwards to share with you the differences between graduate research assistant and research assistant. Please remind me, yeah? Okay, so vote 11,000, salary wages, GRA. Vote 21,000, traveling expenses and subsistence. Okay, traveling expenses can be about, of course, now you guys are going to tell me, we cannot travel, you know. Very true. Now we cannot travel, but just for your knowledge, okay, traveling includes, when you travel for conferences, or sometimes you travel to meet your collaborators, yeah, okay, because we have collaborated research, you know. So all those things, the mileage and all those things, you want to claim your touch and go, so all this, it will be here. Okay, and then vote 24,000 rental. For rental, you want to rent something, a kind of some kind of instrument, okay, or sometimes some people they need to rent the lab at another place, okay. At Nahrim, for example, we have a researcher who did that, yeah. So whatever that you need, basically for these expenses, whatever that you need for your research, you make sure you put everything in the budget. Okay, make sure they are all budgeted for, so that you don't have to fork out your own money. Now, vote 26,000, 27,000, research materials and supplies. Okay, research materials and supplies. Vote 28,000, maintenance services. Okay, so maybe there are certain instruments or gadgets or whatever that you're using for your particular research that requires maintenance services. Okay, So do that, okay, include that, okay, in the budget. And then number 6, vote 29,000, okay, professional services, honorarium, conference fees, publication fees, printing, editing, and other services, okay. This is also very, very important. Now, I have to admit to all of you, yeah, I have come across approved proposals where the researcher did not allocate anything for vote 29,000. Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Okay. And I was like, oh my God, you know, how is this person, you know, how are you going to pay honorarium? How are you going to attend conferences, okay, when you do not allocate conference fees? I think some people, they mistake conference fees under traveling expenses. I don't know. So please, okay, and how are you going to publish if you don't have any allocation for vote 29,000, okay? So you need to be very familiar, yeah, with the votes and what they mean, what they are for. I think that's very important. And then printing, editing, okay, you need to edit your articles, okay, you need to make sure you have allocation for that, okay? And of course, vote 35,000 will be equipment. And this is the asset, okay, procurement of asset. Okay, so here, procurement of assets, supplies and services, okay, only allowed if the asset, supplies and services had been stated and approved in the proposal paper. Okay, so let me tell you that the process that normally happens in RMC is that when we receive requests, okay, to procure certain assets or to purchase certain supplies or services, what we normally do is we go into my grant system and we look at the budget of that particular researcher, the budget of that particular research, and we see whether, you know, how much has actually been approved by MOHE or by the funder. Okay, so if my grants, it will be MOHE. So we will look at that, all right, and then we will see. Based on that, we will see, okay, whether it should be allowed or not. Okay. For purchasing of assets not mentioned in the proposal, the application needs to be sent to MOHE through RMC for consideration and approval. Okay. So for number 2 here, it tells you that, well, MOHE is not that strict in the sense that they still allow you to purchase, but you need to make a request. You need to appeal to them. You need to justify to them why suddenly you need to buy this particular asset. Okay, you can do that. But let me tell you this. Once you do this, once you do number 2, it will delay your research. It will delay your project. Because assets means something that is critical, that you really need for your research, a certain kind of special equipment, normally special equipment, okay? So that is why I'm saying that it is better if you put everything that you need in the budget from day 1, rather than having second thought and then need to change it, okay? Because it will delay. Because let me tell you this, you submit the application to MOHE, you don't even know when they're going to reply to you. Normally, it will take time, okay? And you're not going to be happy about it. And neither are we. We are not happy about it either, okay? Because we keep asking MOHE, you know, emailing them, SMSing them, no reply. It's kind of frustrating. PI to ensure the complete application is sent to RMC together with justification and relevant documents. So you notice that whenever you want to appeal, whatever, there must be justification. Justification is number 1. Mesti ada, okay? Now, this note down here, very important. I have added here. Purchase of assets in the last 6 months of the grant period is not allowed for MOHE grants. Okay, this one is in the latest Urus Takbir. So this is a pictorial view of procurement. So what can be procured? Research materials, example, chemicals, etc. for vote 27,000. Research equipment, 35,000. The asset and also service, 29,000. How to procure? Okay, below 20K, use procurement approval form. Above 20K, a proposal needs to be prepared. You need to prepare a proposal for those which are above 20K. Okay. Now, don't tell us that, oh, you know, why make it so hard, blah, blah, blah. Because, brothers and sisters, I have to admit to you that when we talk about finance, okay, we are also tied to the guidelines by finance, IIUM. So this is their requirement. It's not us. It's not RMC. It's actually the requirement of finance. Okay, because look down here, the approval level. Okay, that's why a proposal is needed. Okay, above 20K, proposal is needed. Document needed, okay, quotation from vendor. Below 20K, 1 quotation. Above 20K to 50K, 3 quotations. Above 50K to 100K, 5 quotations. And look at the approval level. Below 20K, okay, which is my level. Okay lah, tak apa, no problem. At my level, insyaAllah. Okay, but above 20K to 50K, director of RMC. So you need to submit the proposal plus the quotation. Okay, above 50K to 200K, finance director and rector. Of course, you need the proposal as well as the 5 quotations. So you see, these are the things, you know, the financial processes that needs to be adhered to. Okay. All right. Procurement order PO. PO will be issued by finance to successful vendor. Payment. Required documents would be the PO, DO, invoice and PO. Asset tagging. Okay, so once the asset has been procured, okay, RMC will issue a QR code where you need to tag, where you need to put at the equipment. Okay. Yeah, having said that, I'm talking about this tagging of assets. Actually, last year, oh no, the year before, 2019, I think, we worked hard to tag all the assets that we find within the university in Kuantan as well in Gombak. I'm just wondering what the status of that exercise, because we have already given all the tags to the different kuliahs. I wish and I hope that the researchers have already, you know, put the tags at the respective assets purchased. Okay, because when audit comes in, they want to see all that. And the QR code, we came up with that QR code, okay, which has all the details about the asset that has been procured. Okay, so it's very, very important. Yeah, I might need to get your assistance on that to check on the tagging. Okay, using budget after end of project. Okay, can the budget be utilized after the end of the project? Okay, so in terms of at RMC level, okay, for our rigs and all that, we do allow a 3 months period, okay, 3 months after the end of project to make sure you settle all your claims and all that. But for MOHE grants, no. This is latest Urus Takbir 2020. It is clearly stated that in the Urus Takbir that for all MOHE grants, okay, let's say your project will end on 31st of September. So by 1st of October, no more claims shall be entertained. No more. You have to make sure you do everything, the claims, the procurement, everything, okay, shall stop on 31st of September. So please take note of this. They do not have this 3 month grace period like we do, like we implement for our university grants. All right. The next one is research advancement. Okay. There are 2 types of advancement. Number 1 is traveling advancement. The second one is miscellaneous advancement. Okay. Traveling advancement. Let me just explain a bit about traveling advancement here. Now, okay, but this one here is actually, let's say when you, again, I'm talking about under normal circumstances, okay, not related to the new norm, not related to the new norm, where we are still able to travel, okay. So traveling advancement means, let's say, you are going abroad, okay, you have managed to get approval, all right, to attend a particular conference, okay. Not online, but in person, all right? So you have already gotten the approval and you already know your expenses. So you need some money to bring with you, okay, when you go to this particular place, right? So you can request for traveling advancement, okay? And the maximum is 10K from vote 21,000, okay? It can be done, okay? And when you come back a month after the traveling, okay, you submit your advancement report. Okay, advancement report is very important, people, to make sure that you return whatever excess money, all right, or else finance will deduct from your salary. Okay, miscellaneous advancement, the second type, it is 100K maximum, not allowed for vote 11,000, which is for GRA, payment of GRA, and vote 35,000 for asset procurement, okay? So you need to settle, you need to reconcile this advancement within 6 months, okay? And you can get the forms from RMC website. Okay, so this one is the pictorial version of it, okay? So we look at number 1 here, which vote? 27,000. This is for miscellaneous, vote 27, vote 29, how to apply via RMSB2, approval, Deputy Director, amount and duration, amount up to 100K or 30%, whichever is lower. Okay, this is the latest one, 100K. Okay, but make sure, even though you have requested for 100K, you still need to reconcile, meaning you still need to submit the advancement report within 6 months. Okay, or else finance will deduct your salary. Okay, and when you do the reconciliation, you must submit the original receipts of expenses for research purposes. Okay, here we do not want this deduction of salary. Yeah. Okay, research claim. This is something very common. I know that all of you need to verify the claims. Okay, no, sorry, not verify the claims, verify the receipts. You need to verify the receipts. And for the claims, now all the HORs will do it for SP projects. SP projects, not MOHE projects, not MOHE projects. Let me tell you a bit why we changed it. Previously, recently we sent out a delegation of authority to the Kuliah to approve the SP projects, okay? But previously, for your information, HORs or Kuliahs are allowed to approve for MOHE grants, okay? But then we noticed that there were a lot of problems, okay? Because when because if let's say the approval has not been checked, or the approval has been given without proper checking, okay, then it will be, it will create some problems there. So so after much deliberation, we feel that it's better if RMC handles the MOHE grants, while all HORs will handle the SP grants. Mainly because we noticed that for SP projects, I mean the grants which are funded externally, the funders, they're not really very particular. They're not really as stringent as MOHE, okay? MOHE, very, very strict, okay? They're very strict. So we cannot afford to make mistakes, okay? All right. So for research claims, all receipts must be verified by either the Dean, Deputy Dean, PG or Research, HOR, HOD. You can get the forms from RMC website. Validation of receipts, 6 months, please. 6 months, okay? 6 months. I know that we have been receiving appeal, okay, to accept more than 6 months of receipts, but we don't want that to be a culture, okay? We hope, I know that researchers have a lot of things in their mind, but if possible, you try to groom your GRA to be very meticulous in terms of the submission of the receipts. Your GRA can do the submission, okay? Can contact RMC, no problem. Purchasing of equipment, vote 35K is not included. 35K is different. Refreshments for meetings are unclaimable unless approved in the budget. Okay, I think This one because we noticed that some researchers, I mean last time during the old norm, some of them, they have already indicated that they're going to have meetings and all that. But that was only for traveling. It was never mentioned about refreshments, food. Okay, so if you need food for the meeting, spell it out. Okay, mention it. Right. Now for FGD, as data collection as a proof in the proposal. Okay, it's like this. If let's say one of your methods of data collection is FGD, focus group discussion. Okay, this is actually more specific to social sciences, I believe. You need to prepare a proposal. You need to prepare a proposal for that particular FGD or for the series of FGDs that you plan to have throughout the duration of your research. Okay, you put everything in one proposal plus the budget. Okay, and plus the refreshment or whatever else that you need, put it in the budget. Okay. Once it comes to us, once we get the proposal, what we will do is we will go back to your budget as a proof in my grant. As a proof in my grant. So we will look at that and we'll see whether is it exceeding the budget approved or not. If it is within, no problem. Okay, you can use it. Professional service must submit appointment letter, of course. When you appoint people for professional services, you must have appointment letter for the person. Okay, research claim. Okay, research claim, what are the things that can be claimed? All expenses related to research and approved in the budget only. Okay, two very important words there. Related to research, number one. Number two, approved in the budget. Okay, do not claim something that has not been approved in the budget or was never mentioned in the budget in the first place. Okay, it was never mentioned, but suddenly you are claiming for it. Okay, no, that's not allowed. Okay, so how to claim? Submitted by RMSB2, attachment, approved claim form and verified original receipts, approval RMC. Validity of receipts, all claims for reimbursement must be submitted within 6 months from the date of the receipts. Okay, 6 months. Complete and approved research claim form shall be processed by Finance Zone 2 within 14 working days, inshallah. Yeah. And I have to admit to all of you that for these financial processes, procedures, etc., we work hand in hand with Finance Zone 2. Okay, they are another team that we are closely liaising with. Okay. Okay, next is budget reallocation. During this cycle of progress report updating via my grant, we come across quite a number of requests for environment. Okay, all right, which is okay. You can request for environment, no problem at all. Okay, and some of and we noticed that the trend now is to move from the traveling vote, the vote on traveling to vote to 9 professional services. Okay, and to me it's fine because those are unutilized budget. Okay, unutilized budget. We cannot travel, so why not move it so that you can use in vote 29 to expedite the research. Okay, so environment aims to reallocate budget to a vote which is not sufficient to carry out the research activity. That is the idea of environment. Okay, environment is only allowed once a year for a project approved by the MOHE. Okay, environment is only allowed once a year in the migrant system. Okay, it is only allowed once in the migrant system. So if you have done environment, but you see it's like this, for MOHE grants, sometimes you notice that you will do environment a few times and you will do it via RMSB2. Okay, but when you update on the migrant system, all right, please just make sure you request for one environment. It's like you lump everything into that one-time environment and then you transfer. Okay, because you can do a number of times in the RMS, no problem, we allow that. But when you do it on my grant system, because they will monitor, kan? So please make sure you do it once only. Let it be like one lump amount. Okay. Environment is allowed from any board as long as it is within the percentage limit set by MOHE. Okay, this is also something you have to understand. Only certain percentage of amount can be transferred, not the total amount. You cannot bring out the total amount. Okay. And sometimes, you know, if let's say you want to wire, for example, the amount from your GRA, okay, and if your GRA is still, you know, ongoing, the person is still studying, you know, still MOHE may not allow you to wire from vote 11K to, for example, 29K. All right, so you know you need to be careful. Okay, environment cannot exceed 50% of the initial amount of vote approved. Okay, this is the standard rule. Cannot exceed 50% of the initial amount of vote approved. Okay. Okay, so here are some of the issues that we notice when we talk about claims. Okay, so number one is that some researchers they are claiming for membership fees. They are using the grant money to claim for membership fees for their, I don't know, international fees, international membership fees, for example. Okay, no, that's not allowed. Okay, claim for conference fee without approval for attending the conference. Oh God, you know, I receive a lot of this. I mean, not I, we receive a lot of this kind of things. Okay, they just submit to us the claim form without the approval for attending. Remember, there's a form approval to attend conferences. Okay, this one should be done earlier before you attend the conference. Okay, when you come back from the conference, then only you submit the claim form. Okay, but some researchers, they forget about the approval. They just go. Okay, they just go. After the conference, they claim for the fees. Okay, so please advise our colleagues at the kuliah that whenever they want to go to attend a conference, the first thing they should do is fill up that form to get approval to attend the conference. Okay, why is that paper, why is that form so important? Number one, to ensure that you will get the money, you can claim the conference fees later. That's number one. Number two, approval in terms of, meaning the university is giving you the approval to attend this particular conference. So approval from the university and also approval to use the grant money for the conference fees. So that's why that form is very important. Okay, and then only fill up the claim form. Many researchers, after finish, when I look at the date of the conference, la ilaha illallah, it was in 2020. Okay, top up for TNG cards. Tak Canggu cards, huh? No, we do not allow this, okay? Please. If you want to, nowadays, you don't even pay the toll, right? Last time, they pay the toll and they print out, that one is fine, okay? But not top up, huh? Here, mobile prepaid claims. Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. But the thing is this, brothers and sisters, it's very simple. How it works is that, if you want to claim all this, you put it in the budget. You put it in the budget for, you know, in your proposal, you budget it. If MOHE approves, we have no problem. Okay? But I doubt MOHE will approve. Even stationaries, they will not approve. Okay? Okay, procurement using vote 35. Wait, this one, oh, because they claim, you don't claim, you don't use the claim form, okay, for procurement. Okay, procurement has a different process altogether, okay. And then for data collection activities like FGD, okay, no proposal or no approval from RMC, okay. So actually, when we talk about data collection activities, brothers and sisters, it's not just FGD. Sometimes I notice some researchers, some professors, yeah, they part of their research is to have a seminar, because during the seminar the seminar, they will invite the professionals, the experts, and you know, that is considered as data collection. So actually, what you can do is, you know, make sure that in the budget itself, you have already mentioned that you are going to have a seminar as part of the data collection method, and then later on you come up with a proposal, meaning a detailed proposal. Tell us the date of the seminar, what is the title of the seminar, who are the participants, who are the presenters, who are the speakers, you know, do you require refreshments, you know, those kind of things. Okay, actually you can get a copy of the proposal from our website, okay, to give you an idea. But this one is very important. Do it, okay, it makes your life so much easier. And then sometimes I also noticed that some researchers, okay, for example, now I remember there was this one researcher who is doing data collection at various places all over Malaysia. Okay, so let's say in August she needs to go to Kelantan. In September, this place, this one, this place. So she put everything in one nice proposal, detailing the activities and all those things, and all the budget. Wonderful, because later on, when you do your claim, when you submit your claim, you just attach that approved proposal, that one approved proposal, okay, every time when you submit your claim for August, for September, for October, you know. So it's very simple. It's not that a huge problem at all. Okay, monitoring of research grants. Okay, so now in terms of information on research project, yeah? Okay. These are crucial information of a research project that you should know. Okay. Okay, research activation. Research project and allocation registered in RMSB2 and IFES. Okay, so when you first get a fund or a grant, okay, please make sure that the research is registered in the RMSB2. Okay, of course there are certain processes that you have to do, certain forms that you have to fill up. Okay, but do it, get it registered, whether it is MOHE grant, SP grant, JP, it doesn't matter. Okay, revision in funder system has been approved. Okay, so this one is for my grant. Okay, this one is for my grant, the second one, revision in funder systems. Okay, because this one is related to, for example, let's say FRGS grants. If let's say your proposal has been approved, normally there will be a period where you are requested to do a revision of that particular proposal. Okay, MOHE normally when they approve your proposal, okay, they will require you to revise that proposal. So do that revision according to the comments made by the assessor. Okay, then only when MOHE checks and sees that, oh, okay, you have already made the required revision, then only they will press that button approve. So everything will be in the system, everything will be green. So which means that now you can utilize the budget. Because brothers and sisters, let me just tell you this. There was a time when there were quite a number of our researchers, they refused to make the revision of their approved grant. MOHE, I'm talking about MOHE. Okay, they refused to make the revision, and because of that, all right, the system doesn't allow them to utilize the money. Meaning to say, when you see in the system, in the migrant system, it's not all green, you know. Those of you who are familiar with the system, when it is not all green, meaning that, okay, you cannot utilize the money. RMC will not allow you to utilize the money because the funder, which is MOHE, doesn't allow us to do that. So that is why the revision of the proposal is very important. But unfortunately, many researchers, they overlook it or they take it very lightly. But the impact is that they will not be allowed to use their grant money. That's very important. Okay. Research duration, the grant is active from the start date up to end date only. Okay. Research duration. Research KPIs or output, okay, publication, 2 articles published in that journal. Okay, this one is for FRGS. 1 master student to his project, or 1 PhD student for a 3-year project. For research progress report twice every year, February and July. Please do it via RMSB2 and also the funder system. Let's say my grant. Okay, so please make sure do this February and July. Penalty non-submission, grant suspended, blacklisted for application of new grant. This is no joke, people. MOHE is implementing this. We will look at this later. Research extension of project duration is allowed only once, maximum of 6 months. Research and report, okay, this one is when you want to submit your end of project report. Researcher profile, infographic of research findings, research impact to the quadruple helix. Okay, all right. Final progress or completion and financial report. PI is responsible to prepare the financial progress and financial report based on the agreed duration. Submission must include final progress report and milestone, financial report, talent output. Okay, PIs for TRGS and LRGS are required to submit all progress and financial reports to the program leaders prior to sending to MOHE. PI must submit the final progress report and financial report to MOHE. So for this completion of MOHE grants, now they have completion module. So they have already upgraded my grants. Now those research that they are already completed, you have to move to a different dimension. Okay, you will need to fill up the completion forms, not completion forms, sorry, the completion module, okay, on my grant system. Okay, and please remind your colleagues about this as well. Okay, those who have FRGS 2013, 13, 14, 15, 16, okay, they need to fill up that module already, and that one is open 1 whole year. They can do that throughout the year, no problem. It is only the progress report that will end today. The progress report will end today for the second cycle for this year. Yeah. Okay, so for the final progress or completion and financial report, okay, these are the levels, okay, or the status as mentioned by MOHE. So the project status, if it is progressing well, satisfactory. If it is behind schedule, need closer monitoring, unsatisfactory. Doesn't achieve the target or deviated from initial planning, project recommended for termination, that's considered problematic. Okay, so all right, criteria for evaluation. All right, progress of a project must follow according to the proposed milestone. Progress of financial expenditure for project for 2 years are as follows. Okay, so this one financial expenditure. So which means that let's say for a 2-year project, all right, there are 4 cycles of progress updates that you have to make. So the best is actually this one is in terms of financial expenditure. So let's say the first cycle, hopefully you can show that you have utilized 25% of the money. In the second cycle, 50%. In the third cycle, 75%. In the fourth cycle, 100%. Okay, this is the ideal. This is an ideal. Okay. Okay. At the RMC, for the purpose of performance monitoring, appointment of GRA must be made in the first year of the research. Okay, so please take note of this. Okay, especially brothers and sisters, I want to highlight to you in terms of RACER, yeah, our RACER researchers, FRGS RACER. Okay, they are still young researchers. They need help. Yeah, please reach out to them. Please go back to the kuliah and look for these RACER researchers. Okay, those who managed to get FRGS RACER. That's what I mean. Yeah? Because some of them they're having problems actually. Okay, why do we know? How did we know this? Because we were requested by MOHE to present to MOHE the outputs, the achievements of FRGS RACER, and from there we noticed and we realized that quite a number of them, were still unable to get GRAs. Okay, I mean and of course they have a lot of reasons for that. Okay, so please help these junior researchers. Okay, they want to do the research, but they are facing quite a lot of issues. So please look out for them and reach out for them. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? Because you see, if they are not able to appoint a GRA in the first year of the research, you know, it's going to be there's going to be a lot of problems, okay? You should get a GRA from the first year and move on, you know, right? So please reach out for your FRGS racer recipients in your respective kuliahs, please. No backdated appointment of GRAs is allowed, yeah, please. Appointment letter verified by RMC must be attached. Financial report must be verified by finance. Internal assessment within the institution must be made by panel in the related cluster. For a problematic project, PI must give justification and plan of rectification for the project. Okay. This is what we ask the racer recipients to do: justification for their problems and also what they plan to do. At the MOHE, monitoring of research will be done at random within 6 months after previous progress and financial report submission. Presentation of progress and financial report will be done by the evaluation committee appointed by the MOHE. So this one here, monitoring of research will be done at random within 6 months after previous progress. Okay, let me just explain a bit in terms of this part here, yeah. Okay, now currently what we are doing is we are updating the progress of our research via my grants, okay? And it will stop today. The submission will stop today, 30th of August, yeah? And from tomorrow onwards, okay, RMC will be looking through the submissions and will be verifying the data submitted, okay? So by 15th of September, it must be completed. This practice must be completed. So what happened is that normally in November, MOHE will do a particular exercise called penaziran. Penaziran means they will appoint different people from different universities to look into the data that have been verified by RMC. Okay, and this is called penaziran. I've been involved in this activity for 2 years, for two times now, okay, where I have to menazir, look at other universities, the data and all that, okay. So that's when you see whether the submission is approved or not approved, okay. So please, that is why we need to be very careful when we submit the data. They want to ensure that, for example, I give you a very simple example. For example, you upload your publication, article publication, okay, for this particular research, okay, for your FRGS, for example, and then you did not put the correct acknowledgement for your research, for your FRGS grant. That will be a problem. That will be a problem, okay, because the penazir, the assessor, we call it assessor, I think, the assessor will reject that submission, okay, because the assessor will make a remark, okay, this article cannot be accepted as the output because the researcher did not acknowledge the grant, okay. So please be careful. I will give you examples of the kind of acknowledgement that you should do. Okay, end of project report. PI to send end of project report within 3 months after project completion. End of project report must be assessed by an internal panel in the related field before being forwarded to MOHE. Financial report will be verified by finance. So these are the documents to be sent to MOHE, okay, just for your knowledge now, yeah. End of project report, research profile, report in hard copy format, infographics of research, and also video. Video will depends on the types of grant, yeah? Not all projects. FRGS, you don't need to submit a project, yeah? You don't need to submit a video. End of project report must indicate the overall achievement as agreed in the proposal. So, project status definition. Okay, so some people have been asking me, you know, what is this? What does this mean? Da 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 da. Okay. I want to start with this one here, withdraw. I want to start with withdrawal. Okay. Withdraw, how does it happen? When the PI leaves the university and no takers for the project. Okay. PI leaves the university. We had a case where, you know, a researcher, a PI, has been, he or she has moved to another university. Okay. At first, he or she requested that the grant be allowed to be transferred to the new university. For your information, MOHE does not allow that. Yeah, MOHE does not allow money which has been allocated to UIAM to be transferred to another university to follow the PI. No, it doesn't go by that way. Okay. Money cannot follow the PI. So the PI needs to take somebody to replace him or her. Okay, as a PI. Okay. Grant utilized must be reimbursed. Okay, when you withdraw. Okay. Terminated, research not active, no progress report. Okay, grant doesn't respond to any reminders. Grant utilized must be reimbursed for terminated cases. Incomplete, research not progressing as planned. Grant utilized must more than 50%. The grant utilized must be reimbursed for incomplete projects. Okay. However, having said that, okay, some of you, when you hear this, you might be worried because by end of September, 31st September 2021, we are going to close RIGS 2017. Okay. And I am very sure that there will be a number of cases where, the project will fall under incomplete. Yeah. Okay. Let me put it this way, because RIGS, for internal grants, for RMC grants, we do not request for the money to be returned. However, what the researchers can do is, okay, let's say for RIGS 2017, the researcher has promised to produce 2 publications, 2 articles, index articles. So even after we have closed RIGS 2017, the researcher can still work on those papers. But of course, the researcher cannot utilize the grant money anymore. Okay? The moment we close here, brothers and sisters, the moment we close a particular grant, it means that no more utilization of money from that fund, from that grant. Okay? So whatever publication after that will be borne by the researcher. So after the person has completed the publication, then the person can inform RMC that I have managed, alhamdulillah, to publish the 2 promised articles, and now I want to close my grant properly, RIGS 2017. And the researcher can do this, can update this at any point of time, so that we can always change the status. Because, brothers and sisters, that incomplete status will stay in the researcher's HURIS. Okay, it will appear in the HURIS, all that. Okay, so we don't want that. Okay, next one is completed KPI not achieved. Okay, what does it mean here? Okay, it means that in terms of the progress of the research, okay, in terms of the milestones, achievements of the milestones, completed, done, khalas, okay, the experiments, the research, everything done. The only problem is the research has yet to meet the promised KPI. For example, maybe publication, maybe IP, maybe talent, okay, it depends. So, but then the researcher can still work on achieving the KPI. Okay, but of course, at his or her own expense. Okay, and later on update those achievements so that eventually, hopefully, what we want is this is the best, completed KPI achieved. So that means the research progress is fantastic, 100% complete, alhamdulillah, and also the research meets all the KPIs as promised. Okay, the talent, publication, and IP. Okay, okay, achievement of output. Okay, achievement of output for publication. Okay, okay. only publications indexed in Scopus, WOS, and ERA are accepted as output. Okay. For FRGS 2021, MOHE has started to accept articles which are indexed in my site. Okay, they have started to allow that, which is good. Okay. However, must make sure that the status must be published here. Published, not accepted. Okay. The status must be published and not accepted. As these are applicable to active grants on 24th January 2020. So if let's say your grant was active on 24th January 2020 last year, so the status of your publication must be published when you submit in the reporting. Not accepted. They don't want accepted. They want published. Okay. Okay. Another one, very important. This particular statement here. Yeah. Please be careful of this. Published date must not be prior to the project commencement date. Brothers and sisters, I came across a lot of these cases. Okay. I have come across a lot of articles where when I look at the published date, okay, let me tell you this. For the published, if you look at some of the articles that have been published, that you have published, okay, go back to the article, the front part, the title, you have the name, and then you have the abstract, and somewhere on that page, you will see the dates, okay, the dates when the publisher received, when the publisher accepted, when it was actually published online. So those dates are actually very, very important, okay? And from there, I have come across certain articles which were actually, the receiving date was actually before the project date. So which means that that article was not an output from that research. The article was actually written prior to the date of the research, the start date of the research. So that article will not be accepted as an output for the publication. So please inform your colleagues on this. Okay, I've noticed quite a number of these issues. Okay, acknowledgement statement to the funder. Okay, brothers and sisters, please. Okay, I cannot highlight this. I cannot impress how important this is to all of us actually. When you write the project code, please, brothers and sisters, use the FRGS here, the MOHE grant code. Please use the MOHE grant code. Okay, FRGS stroke 1 stroke 2 2019 stroke UIAM. Please make sure you have this UIAM ni. Okay, do not use the code that you get that you see on RMSB2. Don't. On RMSB2, you will never see UIAM. Okay, UIAM is only for MOHE grants. I mean, you can see it in the project code for MOHE grants. So use that one. Use this length, the longer version, not the short version. Please, okay? Why I am highlighting this to all of you? Because if you don't do this, okay, MOHE will reject your article. MOHE will reject your article, unfortunately, okay? Not only your article, but our friend's article as well. So please, okay, highlight this to your colleagues. Okay, another one, publication also. Here, yeah. If acknowledgement is given to more than one grant from same funder, okay, the publication will be considered as the KPI to the first mentioned grant. So which means, let's say, okay, this particular article was developed from the findings from your TRGS plus your FRGS. Okay, so you can only declare this, the article, as an output for your TRGS because the first grant mentioned is considered the main grant in the publication. Okay, you cannot declare the one article as output for two research, for two grants from the same funder. You cannot do that. That is very unethical. Okay, so you for this case here, you can only submit for the transdisciplinary as output. Okay, another one. If there is more than one funder, okay, this case is more than one funder. Okay, first acknowledgement must be given to the highest contributor followed by the others. So which means, look at the example here. Okay, the research was supported by FRGS, also my brain, and also self-funded research and L order from Mestec. So FRGS, my brain, and Mestec. Okay, so how do you decide? Okay, how are you going to list the grants? Okay, so it is stated here that the highest contributor should be in the first level. Okay, you should mention that first. Okay, the biggest contributor to your research. Okay. Okay. May I request for a 3-minute break, MC?
Yeah, sure, doctor. I was just about to offer you because I think you explain non-stop.
Sekejap ya.
Okay. While you are taking the break, doctor, can I answer a few questions here?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
All right. Dr. Azura, your question is what happened if the researcher did not acknowledge internal funders, university grant in their publication? Okay, for the internal grants, no, if for the publication, if the researcher does not acknowledge the funder, we will not consider the publication as the output of the research. I hope this helped. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. I'm back. Okay, Ain,
Yes, Doctor.
yeah. Have you answered the question?
Yeah, only one, but your Dr. Amal punya question I didn't answer yet.
Okay, let me just have a look. Yeah, let me just have a look.
Okay. And also Roslina, Doctor.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I thought it's just a short questions, but actually quite a number of questions here. Yeah. Okay.
Some of them I answer already.
Yeah.
And only two left, which is first is Dr. Roslina.
What if you don't know about changing scope? Is it when the
Yeah.
budget slashed and it's already 3 years?
Yep, that one. And Dr. Amal.
Okay, got it.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, right. Right, let me just try to answer the questions. Okay, Dr. Roslina's question, what if you don't know about changing scope when the budget is slashed and it's already 3 years? Okay, Dr. Roslina, what I can share with you is actually my experiences from researchers when I get requests from researchers in terms of the scope. You don't know about changing scope. Okay, so it's like this. Normally what happens is that when MOHE has approved your proposal, okay, your FRGS proposal, for example, okay, and then you go into the system and you realize that, okay, it has been approved, fine. However, MOHE has made some comments that particularly to the budget, okay? So then what happens is that some researchers, okay, when this happens, okay, when there's a reduction in the budget, they will go back to their team and they will discuss this, okay, whether, with this much budget, can we actually cover the scope that we have promised earlier? And some of them, they decided that, oh, tak boleh, susah, it's going to be very difficult for them. The budget is very tight for them to play around with. Okay, so because of that, they as a team, they appeal to MOHE to make the change of scope. So what I'm trying to tell you is that MOHE will never tell you to change the scope. It will be you as a researcher who will realize that, alamak, this budget is too small lah. Tak boleh lah buat macam ni. So you need to change. You need to reduce the width of the scope or the angle of the scope or whatever you call it. But if it's already 3 years, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Very, very sorry. Even if you send an appeal to MOHE now after 3 years, they will never entertain. Okay, they will never entertain your request because it must be done in the first 6 months from the start date of the research. All right, next one is, okay, here, I am a co-researcher in a grant, but my PI used the grant code for the publications that we have submitted before this. I wasn't aware of these differences in the code to remind too. Does it mean our publications are not counted for the project? Thank you. Okay, Dr. Amal, are you there?
Yes, Dr. Adlina.
Yeah, can you please explain? I'm sorry, I don't really get you.
It's okay. Assalamualaikum first, Dr. Adlina. So my question was, I am a co-researcher, so I am helping my PI in the research.
Yeah.
So basically my question is, we are submitting our previous publications using the RMSv2 code for the publication. So does it mean that our previous one are not counted? Because honestly, we didn't know about this code.
Okay. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha
Okay,
illallah.
this means that it's a big problem.
It is a big problem. Okay. Dr. Amal, what I can say at this moment is this. Because okay, it's like this. You have the articles have already been published, right?
Yes.
And you know, and sometimes even when you request the publisher to make an addendum meaning to inform of a correction in certain parts, in certain information of the article, sometimes some publishers may not want to entertain. Allahu Akbar, it's very difficult. Okay, just carry on. I mean, submit, because as long as the article is the same as the title of your research. Yeah, the title, the title of the article is related to the research. What I will do, inshallah, okay, what I and my team and RMC will do, inshallah, is actually what we do is actually fight for our researchers. So we just, sometimes during our discussion or certain platforms that we have with MOHE, we will inform them that they should not be so rigid, okay? Because some researchers, they are confused. Which one is RMS v2 coding? Which one is FRGS coding? I mean, the migrant coding, you see? So we normally what we'll do is we ask them to accept the coding made, or stated in the article. That's what we do, okay? So inshallah, doctor, whatever that you have done, I mean, it's very difficult to correct a mistake, isn't it? It's not that easy. It's not that simple. We just want our the MOHE people to be more empathetic towards researchers, okay? Not that you didn't do it, but you have already published. But there's a glitch. No one is perfect, right?
Dr. Lina, Assalamualaikum, Dr. Lina. I think there are similar cases like this before, declined by MOHE. So if this one, we can appeal and get approval. So researchers will ask also the same reason, because why the previous also were declined by the MOHE, because not stated the coding, right? Yeah.
That is why MOHE is very, very, they're very strict. That is a problem, something that we are not, I mean, I have to be very, very truthful and honest with all of you. I myself am not happy with them being so rigid and so, I think they, it's recorded, isn't it? Allahu Akbar. But I will be very honest. Okay, I just don't, to me, especially, during this COVID period, they need to be more empathetic. They need to have empathy towards our researchers, They need to understand the kind of struggle that we face, you see. So even for publications, okay, like it's like this, yeah. We think of it like this, Even Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is very merciful, merciful, okay, because this is not a big sin. The big sin is if you do not publish, but you have already published, okay? So why can't they at least consider, okay? So that's what I personally feel, okay, Dr. Amal. So inshallah, okay, my team and I will think of a way. I think I already got an idea, okay, but I will do it first and see whether it works or not, okay? We will think of a way of how to address these issues, yeah, okay, Dr. Amal? Let me do it first and see whether it works or not, and then we will tell you what we did. Okay? Suddenly I got an idea how to do it, inshallah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, okay. So can I just proceed and finish this off? It's already 11:33. Okay, right. Where is it? Okay, just a little bit more, yeah? Just a little bit more. Okay. All right. Okay, so so now we are going to look at achievement of output, yeah? And the first one is talent, all right, talent. And when we talk about talent here, what I mean is GRA, our graduate research assistant, okay? As I mentioned to you, there's a big difference between GRA and RA. So inshallah, after this slide, we will look at the differences. Yeah, I will show you the differences, inshallah. Okay. So the first one is for GRA, all right, you can appoint, okay, Malaysian and international PG students, okay, whether they are doing masters or PhD. However, you please make sure that they are on active status, okay, which means that they are not terminated, they're not dismissed, yeah. And then sometimes what happens is that you may have already appointed the GRA, but then when you want to renew, okay, when you want to renew the person, the status of that person is on study leave. Okay, on study leave, you cannot do the renewal. Okay, let's say you go to RMSB2, you want to renew your student, okay, you want to renew the appointment of your student, and because you must understand the data for our students, for our GRA, actually we pull it from CPS. It's linked with CPS database. Okay, so if let's say in the CPS database the status is on study leave, then it's going to be very difficult. So that's why the student needs to deal with CPS, clean their record in CPS, and then only you do the reappointment or whatever. Then only it will be active status. So with active status, you can appoint the student, you can reappoint the student. Okay, so please take note of that. Now, principal investigator or co-researchers. Okay, yes, the student, okay, the student can be your student. Let's say you are the PI, so the student can be your student, or he or she can be your students of the co-researchers, your co-researchers. Okay. However, okay, please take note of this. Very important. Please make sure that the GRA's thesis must be on the same, or if not similar, area or scope of your grant title. Okay, I repeat, this is very, very important, people. The research which is conducted by your GRA, okay, in their masters or PhD, must be related to the grant scope, okay, that you are appointing him or her as the GRA. That's very, very important, okay? Because at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, when you submit your completion, that is what MOHE wants to see. If, let's say, they look at your completion record and they notice that the title of the thesis has got nothing to do with the title of the grant, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, your research will always be completed, KPI not achieved. So that is what we do not want to happen, okay? Right. Number 3, it must be on research mode and thesis, okay, and related to the research project, okay? Okay, online through RMSB2, the appointment must be done online through RMSB2. Minimum duration, okay, this is another one. Please, brothers and sisters, whatever information that I am sharing with all of you, please disseminate to our colleagues at the kuliah, all right? You need to advise them. Because some of you yourself notice that, subhanallah, I learned new things today. Yes, okay? And you will learn new things as well because MOHE keeps on changing the guidelines, okay? So, this one here, yeah, minimum duration, as an example, yeah. Last time it was only 6 months, okay? But now they have lengthened the duration, okay? Which means that the howl of your GRA, okay, to be able for you to declare that this person is the output for your talent, okay, it must be 12 months. It cannot be 6 months. Last time it was 6 months, but now 12 months. Please tell this to your colleagues, okay? Advise them properly. And when I say 12 months, it doesn't mean that it must be let's say a 2-year project, yeah? It doesn't mean that, one whole stretch, January to December, khalas, okay, I don't want to think about it. Okay, some people are like that, you know, I don't want to think about it. I appoint her for 1 year. Then, okay, that's it, done, khalas. But maybe you can do that if you trust the student. But more often than not, you know, if we have just met the student, we want to try the person first for 2 months, we are not sure whether we can work with the student or not, see how the tempo, you know, how we go along. Maybe you want to appoint for 2 months first. After that, then you renew, you know. So that means it's accumulative. Meaning, for example, I give you an example. Let's say first appointment, January, February. And then March, lapse, March lapse, empty, no appointment. Then you start again, April, May. So it's accumulative in nature. It's accumulative in nature, okay? It need not be one whole stretch of 12 months, okay? So just accumulative. And it can be 12 months or more sometimes, depending on your budget. Okay, if you still have money, why not? Yeah. So the maximum for MA is 1.8, PhD is 2.3. Okay. Vote for payment 11K, salary and wages. And contract and extension of appointment is allowed if the project is still on active status. Yeah. So the project itself must be on active status. Okay. If you want to extend the appointment of your researcher or of this GRA. Yeah. Because you have to understand when you register this student in RMSB2 and it has been approved, okay, the payment for that GRA will be made via system. Okay, the money will be transferred to the student's bank account. Okay, so it's not through you. It's not that the money will go to the PI will pay the GRA. No, it doesn't work that way. The money will be paid directly to the GRA. So that is why the research must be on active status. Okay, then only the payment can take place. Like recently, we have a case of this one particular researcher who wants to pay his or her GRA, but then the research is like it's like what? The research is not active. Okay, the research is not active, meaning the researcher has forgot to request for extension. I'm talking about internal grant here, not FRGS. Just internal grant. Okay. The end date of the research was April 2020. Now is August. So the person wants to pay now in August. Of course cannot. So what the researcher needs to do is extend the research project first and then request for payment. Then only the payment can be made. Yeah? You make sure your project is active and you make sure the status of your student is also active. Okay. All right. Okay, this one is the criteria by Mohe for production of talent. Okay, GRA appointed and paid with the fund from the research grant by Mohe, 12 months maximum, yeah, and must graduate. Here, I will talk about this further, must graduate. The graduation I will explain a little while. Student paid using other sources, sponsored students or students who are paid using other financial sources rather than the research grant by Mohe. It is also allowed. RMC must verify the status of the student and the research done. Info must be sent to Mohe. Okay, this one is, I'm sorry, there's a typo here. It should be minimum of 12 months, not 6 months, sorry. I will make the correction in a while. GRA must be supervised by PI or co-researchers in the same project. Okay, this is very important, yeah? PI or co-researchers. Okay. GRA must carry out studies that are directly related to the research project. Contents of related research needs to be confirmed with RMC. This one here, the status of the GRA, whether in progress or graduated, need to be updated through the migrant systems, even when the period of the research had ended. Okay. So what does it mean? What does it mean here? Now, for some of our researchers, maybe they are worried. They are worried like, oh my God, you know, my master student, my research is going to end in September. But my master student has yet to submit the thesis. Ya Allah, you know, it means that, you know, how am I going to declare the person as output and all that? Brothers and sisters, please do not worry. Please do not worry, okay? If let's say your research has already been completed 100%, okay, finances has been, has been utilized, fully utilized, okay. So let's say now the issue is about your GRA, because your GRA is still in the process of writing up the thesis, okay. So let's say your grant will end on 31st of September, okay, and then your master student will only graduate, let's say, will only graduate next year in June 2022. Okay, Alhamdulillah, June 2022. So when your GRA graduates, okay, meaning to say your GRA gets the Senate letter, okay, the Senate letter stating that you have fully fulfilled congratulations and all that. Okay, request one copy of that Senate letter from your GRA. You go to my grant. Okay, you don't need to wait for the opening of the system, because you are actually filling up the completion module. Completion module is open all the time throughout the year. So you just go to the completion module, you just upload that Senate letter and fill up the details, when she graduated, etc., etc., etc. You can do that. You can do that later. Okay? So you don't have to worry, because some researchers, I noticed, they're panicking because, Allahu Akbar, my research is already complete, but my student has yet to submit the thesis. Okay, so please tell them, relax, breathe. You can do the submission or updating of the data of your student later. Tahun depan pun tak apa. Okay, alright. Now, GRA must be appointed, must not be PI or co-researcher who is on study leave. Oh, yeah. There have been cases, there was this one grant, the co-researcher was actually the co-researcher was a staff who was on study leave. Okay, that is not allowed. Please, that is not allowed. Okay, nationality status for GRA that need to be taken for consideration. Okay, all this nitty-gritty you study by yourself. Okay, this one, but just for your knowledge, Malaysian and non-Malaysian for appointment before 28 February 2014, Malaysian only for appointment within 28 February 2014 until 15th October 2017. Okay, I just want to highlight this, just in case, Dr. Amal will get like, Ya Allah, what is this, Malaysian only within this duration. Okay, let me just explain to all of you a bit on this part, Malaysian only. Okay, what happened was, okay, from 28th February 2014 until 15th October 2017, all researchers in Malaysia were not allowed to appoint non-Malaysian GRAs. They were not allowed to appoint international students. Okay. I don't know what happened because I came into RMC in 2018. But during this time, okay, of course, there were a lot of people who were very, very unhappy with MOHE's decision of not allowing international students to be GRA. So during that time, my team, I had a team with UPM, we worked together, and we came up with, it was actually FRGS top-down research, where we look at the importance or the contribution of foreign students to universities, okay, in terms of research. And at the end of the day, we came up with a policy paper, okay, which actually revised this policy, Malaysian only to Malaysian and non-Malaysian, for appointments starting from 16th October 2017, okay. However, there is a caveat. Appointment of non-Malaysian must not exceed 50% of the appointment of Malaysian GRA. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, okay, they reverted, okay, to the normal Malaysian and non-Malaysian, but it's just that we have to ensure that non-Malaysians will not exceed 50%. And so far, there's no problem, okay? So go on, get your students, local or international, it doesn't matter. Okay. GRA on full-time study mode will be counted as KPI for talent. GRA must be directly involved in the research conducted. Okay, all the appointment must be proven by submitting evidences to MOHE. For example, the appointment letters, okay, and then the renewal appointment, okay, all related documents. Okay, intellectual property, IP, okay, if let's say there is a promise of IP, please make sure you do the necessary things. And now intellectual property is being handled or organized, handled by library under Sister Nur Zilatun. Okay. This one. Okay, we're approaching the end. Okay, so penalty. PI can be given a penalty for failure to comply to the activities below. Okay, please take note of this. Very, very important. Yeah, I think we included this in our announcement, but I don't think any of the PIs really pay attention except for RMC. Okay, so please take note of this. Doesn't submit progress report and financial report. Ni problem ni on the date determined by ministry. So today is the last date, 30th August. Make sure submit, or else what will happen? Restriction on budget expenditure. You will not be able to use the finances. Doesn't submit end of project report. Okay, PI not allowed to apply for a new MOHE grant for 2 years and co-researcher for 1 year. Okay. Project doesn't achieve KPI. Okay. PI not allowed to apply for new MOHE grant for 2 years, co-researcher 1 year. Doesn't complete research without providing strong justifications, non-notification to the ministry through RMC. PI not allowed to apply for MOHE grant, samalah, same. Okay. So please make sure you do all this. Researchers who had spent beyond the total amount approved after the end of the research duration due to recklessness need to pay back all the money spent unless there's a strong justification acknowledged by RMC. So this one is about your grant expenditure. Okay, please make sure your budget doesn't burst. Okay, roles and responsibilities very quickly. PI should comply to good research culture. Okay, very important here. Conduct research with honesty, integrity, respect research subjects. Please make sure that if you need to get this ethics approval, please make sure you do that. Very important, all right? I think some of us tend to forget about the importance of ethics. Ethics approval, please submit ethics approval. Utilize budget prudently, acknowledge the role and contribution of every party involved in the research, okay? Misconduct in research must be avoided. Dishonest reporting, fabricate, distort research progress, misuse of research funds, okay? Misuse of data, plagiarizing work, na'udzubillah min dhalik. Okay, you can refer to this Malaysia Code of Responsibility in Research. Okay, so my last words to you, do the right things and do things right. Thank you. Alhamdulillah. Okay, right, Ain?
Alhamdulillah, thank you Dr. Dina for a very beneficial and very detailed explanation regarding the grant. Basically, it's grant application, grant monitoring, and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Ain, just can you give me another like 2 minutes? I want to share this the differences between GRA and RA. I think this is also very important. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Boleh ke? Can you see this? The slides?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, very quickly, yeah. So just now, okay, I've been talking about GRA, and then suddenly you hear RA. Alamak, apa benda ni? Very confusing lah, serabut. Okay, jangan berserabut, jangan serabutkan minda anda. Okay, I will explain to you the differences between GRA and RA, and these terms are very important because it relates to the way the conceptual understanding as applied in UIAM. Okay, as applied in UIAM, because other places may just use RA, but to us GRA tu berbeza, RA tu berbeza. They are very different. Okay, in what way are they different? Very quickly, I will show you. Okay, so as I mentioned to you just now, okay, GRA, postgraduate students, master student, okay, and normally we appoint the GRA throughout the duration of the research project. I'm sorry, it should be 12 months. Minta maaf, nanti I will make the changes, sorry. And then payment, salary, wages, payment is made via vote 11K. Okay, so itu GRA. Okay, so GRA, PG student, 12 months, payment vote 11K, and also they are considered as output for talent. Okay, GRA. Okay. Next, we look at RA. What is RA? Okay, RA means, okay, PG students as well as UG students. Okay, and they are normally appointed for short-term services. Okay, you just want them to help you in this particular period, a month, just to do this tiny weeny thing. Okay, okay, macam freelance lah, freelance job. Okay, just finish that part, pay, that's it, khalas, bye-bye. Okay, and RA is not going to be declared as output for your research. RA bukan. RA just bantu, help you. Okay, with special services, with certain services that you want them to do for you. And the payment is via vote 29K. Honorarium. You pay via vote 29K honorarium. Okay, so that is why you make sure your vote 29K is not empty. You must have some money for vote 29K because then you can get more people to help you with the research. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Itu sahaja for the differences. I'm not going to proceed with the rest of the slides. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Alhamdulillah, I think I've covered what I need to cover. Okay, so any questions? Any burning questions from anyone?
Assalamualaikum Talina. There are questions in the chat. Can you check?
Okay. Okay, so okay, Dr. Fairul, the PI, this one, the PI wanted to hand over the research grant to his co-researcher due to retirement. The PI said he tried using my grant, but the system didn't allow because his co-researcher is possessing a present grant that not achieve 7% progress. Okay, can JMU help to change the PI to the mentioned co-researcher as the replacement PI? Because you see, it's like this. If you want the guideline by MOHE is that even if you want to apply a new grant, you need to achieve 75% progress or more. Then only you can apply for a new grant. Okay, so if let's say the system doesn't allow, it's impossible for us to allow because you see, my grant now is my grant version 2. Ada AI sikit lah. So they are able to detect. Okay, so there's no way for us to go through the system because brothers and sisters, this is something I need to highlight to you. Yeah, RMS V2 is our internal system. Okay, RMS V2 is our internal system. My grant system is KPT system, meaning to say they have their own team. They develop it by themselves. We don't have our hands into it. We cannot make any changes into it. Okay, RMS V2 boleh because RMS V2 is internal. Whatever glitch that we find, we can contact our IT team, ubah sana, buat sini, boleh. But for my grant, if the system has already indicated that it doesn't allow, that it cannot be allowed, Dr. Fairul, as however much you try to do it.
Okay, I will inform the PI.
Yeah.
Yes, because the backup co-researcher to become PI actually was planned to become the PI, but he actually just took up a new project under MOHE. So this caused complication for the PI to hand over to him, right? So
yeah. Dr. Fairul, I think the concern is this. I think MOHE's concern is this. Okay, MOHE's concern is that okay, if this current co-researcher is having FRJS1 lah, I mean his own project, right? And this project is also like, you know, not achieving the required percentage, kan? And then suddenly dapat pula another project, takut macam apa ya? What's the peribahasa? Dia yang dikendong macam mana? Yang dikejar berciciran, yang dikendong apa? I forgot lah that peribahasa, but you know, it's like you cannot cope pun, macam tu. Masa orang offer memanglah alamak seronoknya nak, memang macam tu. I will be very honest with all of you Many of our researchers memang macam tu. Once it is being offered to them, nak. Tapi bila dah face dah ni, alamak, kenapalah aku terima, macam tu.
Okay, Dr. Lina, because in my kuliah, I handling more than one case like this, more than 2 cases like this. Because the co-researcher not ready to take over from the PI, and this one is different. The co-researcher is ready to take from the PI.
Tapi the percentage pula tidak memenuhi tidak memenuhi. Tak tahulah, tapi kalau ikut guideline it is stated that okay, number 1 in the change of PI, number 1 macam ni. Of course you offer to your co-researcher. Kalau tidak boleh, kalau tidak maknanya tidak jumpa anyone. Co-researcher bukanlah kata tak berminat, macam dalam kes ni it's not allowed pun. It's not allowed pun. So mungkin you can buka kepada you punya daripada kuliah lah, maknanya ada kuliah level. Kita ada satu kes kita ada satu kes sekarang ni di mana researcher tu memang contacted saya personally dan dia inform me of her masalah dan saya faham sangat-sangat dan saya rasa saya sendiri pun I am in the opinion that she should focus on her health rather than the grant, because you know kita punya health ni adalah satu anugerah yang besar
Betul.
So I said to the person, cubalah cari co-researcher, tanya co-researcher. Kalau co-researcher tak nak, buka pada department. Kalau department tak nak, buka kepada kuliah. Seboleh-bolehnya we do not want the status withdraw atau terminated ke apa, kita tak nak
Okay.
Alright.
I think your solution can solve all the problems in my kuliah.
InsyaAllah.
Right, thank you.
InsyaAllah. Cuba.
Yes.
Okay, GRA must graduate requirement is applicable to all existing ongoing research grants or only grants from this is not just from 2021 ni. Dari sejak azali memang kena graduate. Dari FRJS 2013 the graduation requirement of our GRA is not just current, it's not in the current urus takbir. Daripada zaman dulu lagi, okay? Alright. So any other, thank you Dr. Fairul. Okay, any other ni daripada Kuantan, saya nak dengar pada Kuantan, especially yang macam baru-baru ni. Sorry Dr. Fairul, bukanlah you to season. Siapa ni? Saya nak tengok yang nama-nama baru ni, kalau ada.
Assalamualaikum Dr. Adlina. This is Dr.
Sama-sama.
Roslina.
Dr. Roslina. Ya.
I wanted to ask you, let's say in my FRGS, right? This is my one lah. Okay, I've already filed a patent.
Okay,
last year during MCO. So they say after a year then only they can decide whether it's been granted or how. So right now I've already filed in the documentation for patent file in the FRJS My Grant. So then you know that this year September 30th is the one that they give us to finish the grant. But unfortunately I have few research activities that not being completed yet. So how do I answer on the the patent file, the patent to be granted issue?
Patent, I think, okay, number 1
for the FRGS you don't need to have patent, but actually because the model can be patent, so that's why I try to file the I filed the model for patent.
You go for patent or you go for IP? There's a difference tau between sorry. You go for copyright or you go for patent? Patent.
Oh,
patent. Patent lama lah sayang.
For FRGS, can I say FRGS is requirement to patent the
tak. That's why Dr. Roslina said just now. Maknanya sekarang ni you are macam mana? You let's say you promise copyright, IP lah copyright.
IP,
tapi you nak bagi pada kementerian tu patent, which is something which is better lah. Cumanya patent ni will take time, itu je lah masalahnya.
Yes.
Saya rasa macam
blacklisted macam Dr. Adilina for this.
Blacklisted sebab apa?
because of this patent not being granted yet? Because it will take
Kejap,
time, right?
Yeah, it will take time. Saya rasa okay, saya pun kena tengok balik guideline ni. Duk buka guideline ni bab patent ni pula. Nanti I will cuba tengok
Because for my grant,
Issue
I
ni.
promised for 2 paper publication. So
Okay.
we have created this animal model disease, so we want to file the patent. So that's why we file the patent first.
Okay. Publication dah achieve ke belum?
Publication, we have come up with 1 manuscript. So we have another few more activities, research activities need to be done. Inshallah, we can come up with another one.
Okay.
We actually plan 3 lah, 1 for review article, but 1 is ready. Just a few things need to be settled down, and then we can submit.
When is okay, this is FRGS berapa ya?
2018.
Okay. So
Remember I applied
your
for-
end date is okay. You applied for extension tu.
Yes, and it's not being granted, is it?
It's not being granted Yang extension
Yeah.
after 31st September tu.
Yes, correct, Dr. Lina. Also from Kpi. The system's not granted yet. The
Remember
extension.
I emailed you the appeal letter.
Yeah.
and everything?
No, I remember. Okay. So what you
So
can do
I
is
think-
yalah kalau tak extend tu masalah lah. So
Yeah.
bermakna kan after 31st of September ni
31st
sorry 31st of September. Yalah 31st of September is your deadline right?
30th September 30th.
Oh 30th. Sorry. I bagi extra sehari. Okay, 30th September. Maknanya by 1st October tu memang tak boleh ni dah lah, memang close dah lah. So maknanya lepas ni you kena isi completion je lah. No, the thing is this. You can still work macam ni tau. Cara dia macam ni. Cara dia I nampak lah. Okay. Okay, firstly let me tell you that even for FRGS lama-lama 2013, 14, 15, 16, Allahu Akbar. Yang zaman-zaman Nabi dulu tu banyak je lagi yang belum complete. Okay. Banyak je lagi yang belum maknanya the researchers have not fully updated dia punya output apa semua kan. Banyak masalah lah yang tu. So the way I look at it macam ni. Maknanya in terms of the research itself tu dah data collection apa semua tu done ke?
We have done the animal induction and everything. Just a few experiments that we need to do just to complete the experiment.
Maknanya kan you kena settlekan jugalah by end of September tau.
Yes.
Dan lagi satu, okay.
Fine.
And one more thing I want to remind everybody. I want to remind everybody. Kena take note of this Now, bila let's say many of our research will close on 30th of September, bermakna project maknanya in terms of the utilization of the grant tu akan stop pada 30 September tau. Maknanya tak ada claim, tak ada apa yang boleh buat selepas 30 September. Maknanya last date of your claim tu mesti 30 September. Tak boleh lebih. Dia macam tu. Dia macam, itulah saya kata Mohini rigid. Sebab sepatutnya bagilah grace period of 3 bulan supaya researcher boleh, boleh collect the receipt, boleh apa bagai kan. Ini you nak tutup grant, you nak settlekan finances lagi. Memang very disheartening. Tapi itulah hakikatnya. Okay. So Dr. Roslina nampaknya bila Mohe tak bagi you extension ni, maknanya by 1st of October memang duit tak boleh pakai. Okay. Dan memang selepas ini you kena masuk ke completion module dah. Cumanya in terms of tadi you punya you punya publication, okay. Yang mana yang dah publish you upload, yang mana yang
belum lagi.
Yang belum lagi tu work on it. Faham tak?
Okay.
Jangan kata macam, don't feel that 30 September tak nak buat apa. Fed up dengan Mohir ni, tak nak buat apa. No, jangan macam tu. Proceed juga. Jalan juga. Lepas tu and then bila dah cukup biar maknanya kita punya janji tu tertunai lah, kita kata ya. So maknanya macam JRA lah, tahun depan pun tak apalah you nak upload, tapi sebab benda tu sentiasa terbuka kan, sistem tu sentiasa buka, so you boleh je upload you punya artikel. Okay, macam pattern tu, macam pattern pun sama, you boleh indicate dekat situ pattern file. I hope dalam ni cycle progress ni you ada untuk output, you ada declare IP pattern, you ada declare tak?
Ada declare sebelum previous report.
Okay, bagus. So nanti maknanya they have to understand lah pattern ni.
She already verified that.
Okay lah, tak apalah kalau macam tu. So nanti bila dalam completion, bila kata dah dapat dengan nyata, dah granted dah pattern ni, you upload lah dokumen yang pasal on the granted pattern tu pula. Ya?
Lepas tu Dr. Adina, I have like 2 awards from this for this project lah. So that one also I've already uploaded the evidence and everything for this project.
Okay.
So remember that day I wrote an appeal letter, I mean to Mohi via RMC. So
regarding apa?
Regarding this grant for the extension.
Kan kata tak lepas.
Itu yang masa bulan berapa hari tu, 8 ke bulan 6 hari tu yang kata
you hantar lagi sekali you hantar lagi sekali.
I appeal again.
Ya, yang tu belum dapat lagi lah tu. Yang tu belum dapat, belum. Memang Mohi kata dia ada appeal yang kita hantar lebih awal daripada tu. Dia tak apply pun lagi. Dia tak tengok pun lagi. Itu yang kami dapat feedback daripada Mohi. Betul kan? Okay, Dr. Roslina, saya nak bagi peluang pada ada HR juga ya. Okay, alright. Okay, apa-apa boleh contact insyaAllah. Okay, siapa lagi ya yang nama-nama baru lah. Dr. Nur Azura.
Yes, Dr. Lina.
Ya, Assalamualaikum. Ada apa-apa?
Saya
Saya tahu mungkin ya, saya faham. Saya rasa you yang tag saya ni.
Yes.
So tapi tanya satu je dulu. Alright. Yang lain to the phone lah.
Okay, boleh, sure. Alright, so I received a question from not a question, a request from my colleague. So actually she's supposed to close the FRGS. If I'm not mistaken, her FRGS is FRGS 2016 if I'm not mistaken. So supposed to be closed lah. Jadi the deadline supposed to be tomorrow Dr. Lina, because I didn't receive any notification, but she informed that she needs to do a progress report in the system, my grant system, and then apa lagi dia punya tu kena, but she request actually to submit the project completion by early next week. Is it possible, Doktor?
Sebenarnya kalau FRGS 2016 ni kan, memang dah kena buat project completion dah.
Alright.
Maksud saya macam ni ya. Dalam migrant tu dia ada dua benda. Dia ada dua benda. Satu, untuk kita update kita punya research progress. Okay? Research progress ni maknanya contoh dia macam FRGS 2017, 2018 yang masih aktif. Kalau FRGS 2016 tu doktor, dah bukan tempoh haul dia dah habis dah tu. Dah memang kena masuk completion dah. Yang second module tu. Okay, so second module yang completion ni, dia buka untuk the whole year.
Okay.
Sampai Disember dia buka completion. Yang sekarang kita nak kejar ni, yang 30 Ogos hari ni, deadline tu, is the progress untuk yang saya duk nampak yang 2017, 2018, 2019. Tapi yang 2016 ni, sefaham saya, kena go through completion already.
Oh, alright, okay.
That's what I understand lah.
So memang let's say if the researcher request untuk submit by 7 September, is it possible, Dr. Lina?
The completion. Boleh?
7 September ya?
Boleh,
Okay,
insyaAllah.
okay, sure.
Okay, alright.
Thank you.
Sama. Okay, Dr. Ainul. Ada apa-apa ke nak tanya? Okay, tak ada kot. Okay, Prof Miftah. Prof Miftah? None. Okay, anyone else having any question?
No, this is Prof Miftah. I just actually request, since there is a lot of guideline there, just maybe to share the slides, it would be a good reference for us.
Of course, Prof. Ya Allah. I know, and I'm very, very sorry. I know there are a lot of things. I know that all of you will have like you know, your brain suddenly like poof, like what are all these things, you know? But don't worry, okay? We will share the recording. We will share the slides. Okay, take your time, digest these things. These are not easy stuff. Okay, it took me years to digest and have it in my brain.
It should be okay, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, Prof. Okay. Anybody else?
Lina.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Akmal. Yeah.
Okay. How can we get the latest update on how many have submitted the research, the progress report for our kuliah? Because it's our KPI kan 80% tadi kan.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Akmal. You mean the for the current cycle ni lah, ya?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So inshallah, during the coming URC, on 3rd of September, inshallah, my team and I, we will be presenting to all of you, okay, the number and the percentage of submission of progress report in the migrant for this cycle, yeah, okay. Inshallah, we will do it according to kuliah, inshallah. Okay.
Alright, so as of today, we just need to remind us.
Yeah. Janganlah request hari ni, tengah serabut.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Ini sesi berkenalan sebenarnya. Dr. Muhammad Tahir. Sorry lah, saya suka panggil pula, ya Allah. Any question?
Yes, this is Prof Miftah again.
Yeah, Prof Miftah.
Yeah, we received a letter from Prof Amir about the delegation of approving authority.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's anyway, it's not confusing, but it's the info there. I don't know, like they have the same grants almost, and then they gave the authority. I don't know if you can see the letter or you have.
Okay. I have the letter. Wait. Maybe I can share. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, 1 minute. The letter, yes, I have the letter. I'll share with you the letter so that all of us can understand what you are referring to, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can everybody see this letter, delegation? This is the one, right, Prof?
Yes, that's the right one.
Yes, and your question is?
Yeah, my question is, in the table, when I go through it, like you have number 1, they mentioned the same grants, and then they said the authority is the dean.
Yeah. Okay, baik. Yeah, and then
number 2, the same also grants, but now the authority is deputy dean, and then on the bottom HOR. So I don't know who's the authority will be now. We are 3 of us for the same grants. So I get anyway. I signed, I think, some, but I'm not sure. Should it be the dean or the deputy dean postgraduate or the HOR or any?
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Miftah, for the question.
Yeah.
Okay, I think sorry if this particular letter is rather confusing, but what we mean is that first let us focus on the grant or the scope of approval. Yeah. So we look at the type, the type of grants. So right now, by giving you the delegation letter, we are informing the kuliah that these types of grants, the authority is being delegated to the kuliah. So what are the types of grants? the sponsored research or contract research, the university grants, okay, and other grants for the respective kuliah centers or institutes. This one, you know, the kuliah's grants. So these are the types of grants. Okay, and then the scope of approval. What are the things that you are that you can approve? Okay, okay. What are the things that you can approve? So the approval covers procurement of goods and services, research claims and payment, advancement or disbursement. Okay, so this is the scope of approval. Then we look at the authority. We look at the authority. Actually, the list, what this list means is this. There are three, three, can I say three? Generally three categories of people who can give the approval. Number one is the dean of the kuliahs. The dean of kuliahs, Okay. Number two, deputy deans of postgraduate affairs, blah, 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 of the different kuliahs. And also the heads of research. Three. So three authorities which can give approval to these types of grants and for these particular activities. Okay? So Prof Miftah and friends, what this means is that, example, if let's say you receive an application or a request for claims, okay, from your researcher at the kuliah, okay, for SP project. So let's say the researcher gives you the form. So you go through, check everything fine. You put down your signature, all right, and then what will happen is your office will send that form to the to Finance Zone 2. No need to send to RMC. Can you follow me?
Yes, I understood that. Thing is, my point is, because there's these three people.
Oh, okay.
Does it mean any one of them, or some Korea?
One only.
There has the three of them, so they will delegate to the HOR, for example.
Normally the deans will delegate to the HOR, so that's why we have to put down as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And also the amount limit is 20,000 and
20,
below,
that's clear. My confusion only the three people, so I want to know, should I approve, or should I give to deputy dean, or should I give to the dean?
So that means Dr. Miftah, if let's say when your colleague submit an application, and let's say you are on leave, you are, or somehow you are not able to sign, so you can, the kuliah can get the deputy dean to sign, or the dean to sign. Okay.
Clear.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Okay. Right.
Let me sorry, adding to this, Doctor. Okay, Dr. Miftah, you continue.
No. Actually, just to improve some of, especially for this one, I think it's repeating the researcher that they don't submit progress report on time, or they're missing. So I think when we get the announcement from RMC, it would be nice to have either the list by kuliah or something, or through RMS version 2. Then we can have some reports there. Maybe ITD will work on that. So then, since I am the HOR, let's say, of KOE, then I can generate the report of the stats of the research grants. So I know which one is in delay, which one needs help, or needs consultation and stuff. Instead of just a general like that, okay, please submit for the one who didn't submit. So I have 200 plus. I'm not going to check one by one,
Understand. This is in terms of reporting. Okay. Inshallah, Prof. During our second session on 1st of September, inshallah, I will also get IT people to come on board and demonstrate. Okay, in terms of the kind of reporting, extraction of data from RMSB2 to help you to monitor the progress of the research in your kuliah, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Farouk.
Okay.
Dr. Lina, may I know the scope of approval letter just now that you show, when it was released before?
When was it? When was it released?
Yes.
The
letter,
date, the date
of the letter.
the
Yes.
date 18th August.
18 August.
Yeah.
All right. Because traditionally, when researcher want to apply some things, financial and so on, so we have to follow the scope of approval according to the form from RMC. We have to sign on the form, right? But now we are going to use RSV2. So meaning that we don't need to use form anymore, right?
Wait a minute. Sekejap. Dr. Farul. Okay. This is another thing I need to share with my fellow colleagues. Yes, we have. Okay. Yes, we have already started the initiative to get our researchers to apply for the claims and all those things, the financial things via RMSB2. However, we are sorry to inform that we are putting that on hold at the moment. Okay? Because of some, I don't know whether, I don't think I can share it with you yet, okay? But there is something that we RMC needs to settle with finance, with a few other authorities in the university. There is something. I'm very sorry. I cannot share with you what it is, but we need to put a halt to that yet first. Okay, there is something we are kind of unhappy. This is about. But I will be very honest with you that what we're trying to do is for the best interest of the researchers. That's it. Okay, and because of that, when some people are saying we have to follow certain conventional methods, I feel very unhappy. Okay, so we need to settle that lah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I cannot elaborate on that. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay, I think it's already 12:26. Okay. So.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Dr. Adlina, sorry.
Yeah,
May
Dr.
I ask
Azlini.
you the last question? I'm Dr. Azlini, the new HOR from Kuliah Dentistry.
Okay,
Kuantan.
so you are the last question. You said the last question for the day.
Yeah, I hope so. Okay, sorry. I would like to ask regarding the end of project report form. As the actually I'm referring to my own case for FRGS. The end date should be tomorrow. But I just submitted the advancement report form and also the research claim form, but I don't think that it is already being processed. How was it? Did the rest of the things, for example, publication and also students, that one is settled, just the financial part is not yet settled, but I have actually submitted the form or the report form and the claim form. So is it okay for it, because the end date will be tomorrow.
But you have already submitted the claims and all that.
Yes, submitted last week, but I don't think that they have key in the system yet.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Okay, tak apa. Kejap for once I tak nak jawab. So, Susanna, my my financial officer. Okay, so tolong jawab.
Doktor, untuk report dalam my grant is okay. Cuma nak tengok doktor punya end date bila?
Tomorrow.
End date of the
in my grants, the end date is tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Selalunya my grant dia end date dia end of the month tau.
Betul.
30 selalunya dia takkan start dengan 1, Dr. Azlini.
31st August, right?
31st August, doktor. Betul.
Oh, 31st August, ya Allah.
Betul.
Sorry.
Apa ni, claim semua dah submit, doktor ya?
Ya, dah.
Okay, dah submit, okay lah. Tak apa.
Alright.
So, kita ikut for claims, we follow the submission date, right?
Betul.
Ah.
Doktor submit dekat siapa?
Dekat Kuantan.
Kuantan okey.
Ya, so Aida ya.
Okey.
So Aida, tolong tengokkan ya. Tolong check apa yang perlu dan make it cepat sikit lah. Kesian dekat Dr. Azlini nanti.
InsyaAllah,
Okay.
baik doktor.
Okay, terima kasih.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Alright. So brothers and sisters, I think it's already approaching 12:30. Okay. Can we do it this way? I know that you have many burning questions. Okay, we can still have this kind of discussion, because actually I like to get questions and also to understand, what our researchers are facing so that we can improve our services and all that. Can we postpone this to 1st of September, whereby at the beginning of the briefing, we'll go through the RMSB2, etc., etc. And then after that, if you still have questions, and I look forward to questions, because by you sharing your questions, you will enable others to learn. Okay, so I think having questions is very important. So come on 1st of September with questions, so that we will have like two parts. First, the RMSB2. After that will be questions and answer, some queries from all of you. Will that be okay?
Dr. Lina, I suggest something. It's good to open the questions to research admin staff, because they just keep quiet. They are a very strong person behind of our scene, actually helping us on the admin matters.
Of course, don't worry. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Fairul. Of course. On 1st of September, I will get my strong people to also contribute. Okay. So don't worry. Okay. Because I have to admit, I don't know. My knowledge is also very limited. Okay. I don't know everything under the sun. Okay. So that's why I also refer to them a lot. We discuss things together a lot. Okay. Rather than making a one-person decision is not good. It's not good at all. Okay. So with that.
Assalamualaikum, Sister Adlina.
Yes, Dr. Tahrui Ramdani.
Yeah, I'm very sorry I missed the meeting today. I was having another meeting. However, I request, if it is possible, to share with us the recording. So I will look at what has been discussed, and I will try to recap things. Thank you very much.
Okay, inshallah. Yes. Of course, we will share. We will share the recording. We will share the slides. Okay, inshallah. Don't worry. Okay.
Thank you so much.
And also, it's just that just to remind everyone, on 1st of September, I might not be able to record because I might not be able to record the session, because of some confidential information. Okay, unfortunately. Okay, I'm very sorry about that, because I don't think it would be, because I'll be utilizing certain grant records, so I don't really feel happy to share with the okay. I'm very sorry about that, for 1st of September, but we can have the recording for the chatting question and answer, but not for the RMSB2 lah, minta maaf. Okay, people, 12:33 already. Thank you so much. Okay, I pass this back to Ain. Thanks everyone. Inshallah, I'll see you again on 1st of September, and inshallah Prof Amir will be joining us to say hi to all of you on 1st. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Adlina.
Let's work together, okay?
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you Dr. Adlina for the sangat memberansangkanlah perkongsian tu. And before we end, I would like to invite our HOR to open your camera and we take a picture first and then we can dismiss. Can we?
Yes, please.
Okay. Ada everyone together.
Prof Miftah, you have to switch on the lights.
I'm in front of the window. Okay, I thought.
Okay, first, this one is first team. Oh, don't meeting and drive, Dr. Firdaus. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Sekejap. Okay, 1. Kan biasa kita buat satu je kan? Okay, sekejap. Ada ramai lagi ni. Saya tak boleh nak open semua. Okay, that's it. Thank you everybody. Thank you so much. Okay. I look forward to meet you guys on Wednesday, 1st September. Okay, and let's close our session today by reading Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As. Alright, thank you again everybody. Last one.
Thank you, Jenyo. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Oops, sorry. No.
Dr. Adina, sorry. Oh, dah left ke?
Dr. Adina already left the meeting, Doctor. Anything we can help you?
Okay, I wanted to ask, yang hari tu saya dah hantar surat supporting letter from me that I want to appeal to MOHI for the extension kan. Normally, when will I get the results?
Kita tak ada specific time. Kita tak ada timing lah, Doktor, bila kita akan dapat respon from the KPT, sebab ada yang kami hantar since June, sorry, yours is June. Even sampai sekarang pun we keep on text, calling, texting, still macam tak dapat lagi approval. So
yang surat saya hantar hari tu masa bulan Ogos tu pun tak tahu lagi lah yang tu.
Surat yang tu kami hold di peringkat RMC sebabnya kita tak nak double submission, Doktor. Kalau double submission, saya takut nanti dia lagi drag.
I see. So, surat hari tu memang tak sampai ke sana lagi lah.
Belum sampai.
Okay.
Beza Doktor dengan Doktor punya justification before this dengan yang the August one.
Masa yang buka untuk apply extension tu saya apply. Lepas tu dia orang bagi sebab saya macam overused in the research material because my budget was slashed into half. So a lot of things I have to use for the research material in order to get the experiment done. So I already justify in the letter lah when I appeal for the second time.
Oh, okay. Maksudnya dekat dalam letter yang on June tu doktor tak ada explain lah on that. Tapi untuk
yang baru ni saya ni ada explanation on that, justification on that.
Okay, I think like this, Doctor. We keep the letter to RMC first. And we wait for the respond yang 25 Jun tu first, yang bulan Jun punya. And then kalau
bulan Jun tu bukan dia dah respond ke?
Kami tak dapat lagi surat, dia dah bagi kat doktor.
Yang saya dapat email daripada Noraini tu?
Noraini? Noraini or Nurain?
Nurain.
Dengar je.
Saya dapat daripada Siti Sarah. Not recommended.
That one is ni doktor, itu yang penaziran daripada, itu keputusan penaziran. Maksudnya okay doktor, that are two different things actually. So doktor tak boleh mix up benda tu.
Okay.
Means your request on June is different dengan you punya reply on August. So yang maksudnya yang doktor cakap yang August tu doktor reply kepada doktor punya apa penaziran lah kan. So yang tu Kak Sarah nanti bawa surat tu apa hantar surat tu pada ni KPT. Surat tu hantar pada KPT. Itu adalah jawapan kepada penaziran. Betul tak doktor? It's not
Yeah. On the sebab saya apply extension tu bulan 6. Lepas tu bulan 8 baru dapat email daripada sister Siti Sarah yang not recommended. And then they stated why. So I've already write an appeal letter stating why.
Doktor, not recommended tu bukannya jawapan kepada request extension doktor.
Oh, then?
Recommended tu adalah penaziran laporan yang dihantar doktor sebelum tu.
Okay. So now I'm really confused. So did I apply for extension now? Based on the email?
Yes, you apply on June, but the answer is yet to come from the KPT.
Oh, ya Allah, I'm scared. So benda tu belum keluar lagi.
Yes, betul.
Astaghfirullahaladzim.
Yes. Your letter on August, your justification tu itu kepada itu adalah jawapan kepada
penaziran. Okay. Allah.
Yes, penaziran on your submitted progress report.
Okay, sekarang I have another question to ask you. Sorry kalau saya makan masa.
Kenapa doktor?
Okay, saya dah isi my grant report tu semua. Okay, my research output, research outcome semua, berapa award dah dapat, and then conference yang saya dah pergi attend lah. Okay, and then I wanted to ask, I'm just confused on filling up the finance part.